Chapter 165. Qi Lian's Residence. Qing Yin, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Du Luo and the rest greeted Mo Qingyun with a heavy expression. How's Qi Lian's injury? Mo Qingyun asked directly. It's not optimistic. Du Luo sighed and said with a heavy expression. Mr. Qi's meridians are all broken. Even if he recovers, his cultivation will drop greatly. He might even become a cripple. And I know. Hearing Du Luo's words, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. He nodded in response and walked into Qi Lian's house. Du Luo and the rest obviously couldn't compare to Mo Qingyun's understanding of Qi Lian. Mo Qingyun was very clear about Qi Lian's cultivation method. As long as he was still breathing, he would be able to revive with full blood if he was given enough time. His current injuries were nothing compared to the injuries he had suffered when he was injured by Li He back then. Young lord, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Qi Lian greeted Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun nodded in response. He took out a crimson-blue pill and handed it to Qi Lian. He said, take this Yin-Yang breakthrough pill. It should be able to heal your injuries faster. Yin-Yang breakthrough pill. Seeing the pill that Mo Qingyun handed over, Qi Lian's expression changed. He was flattered and said, Young lord, this pill can increase the chances of breaking through the Dam Palace realm by 30%. It's a waste to use it to heal injuries. Say no more. It's just a pill. It's nothing compared to your injuries. Mo Qingyun waved his hand and interrupted Qi Lian's words. Thank you, young lord. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian was touched and thanked Mo Qingyun. After that, Qi Lian stopped being pretentious. He raised his hand to receive the medicinal pill, consumed it, and started to recover from his injuries. Seeing that Qi Lian took the medicinal pill and began to refine the injury, Mo Qingyun got up and walked out of the house. After leaving Qi Lian's residence, Mo Qingyun stood up and walked towards the great assembly hall. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the meeting hall. At this moment, the atmosphere in the conference hall was somewhat stifling. Everyone fell into a heavy mood, and no one spoke. Brat, why are you only here now? Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Mo Xian's face was filled with reproach. She glared at Mo Qingyun and pointed at Yuqian. This guy wants to take little sister Mo Ling away. Hearing Mo Xian's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes narrowed. He looked at Yuqian and asked coldly, You want to take sister Mo Ling away? That's right. Under Mo Qingyun's cold gaze, Yuqian Yi's expression changed. He replied in a low voice, Taking Princess Ling back to the Dark Moon Palace is the Palace Master's order. Moreover, Princess Ling's Liao Yuan Phoenix body is special. She can only cultivate in the Nirvana Valley of the Dark Moon Palace. Nirvana Valley. After hearing Yuqian Yi's words, Mo Qingyun was silent for a moment and began to think. Yuqian Yi's words were true. Mo Ling's body was special. Without a suitable environment and cultivation method, it would be difficult for her to cultivate. Since this was the Palace Master's order, the Dark Moon Palace should have a way to let Mo Ling cultivate. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was silent, everyone looked at him. At this moment, they had unconsciously regarded him as their backbone. After a short silence, Mo Qingyun looked at Mo Ling and asked, Sister Mo Ling, what's your plan? If you don't want to, no one can force you, not even the Dark Moon Palace. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, it was better to let Mo Ling make her own decision. However, no matter what Mo Ling decided, he would fully support her. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yuqian Yi's expression changed again. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed a little. Mo Qingyun, a mere true energy realm cultivator, dared to say such words. He was too arrogant and arrogant. If Mo Qingyun did not have something to rely on and was not afraid, then he would be an idiot. Obviously, Mo Qingyun was not an idiot. Therefore, Yuqian Yi believed that Mo Qingyun dared to say such words because he had something to rely on. Not only that, Yuqian Yi found that under Mo Qingyun's gaze, he felt his heart palpitate. This discovery made him very puzzled. Mo Qingyun was only in the true energy realm. Seeing that Mo Qingyun let her make the decision, Mo Ling fell silent. She was struggling in her heart. After a long struggle, tears flowed from the corners of Mo Ling's eyes. She looked at Mo Yuru and the others reluctantly and said, "I agree to go to the Dark Moon Palace." Mo Ling paused, looked at Mo Yuru, and said, "Mother, you have suffered for 20 years because of my body. I don't want to see you suffer anymore. After I go to the Dark Moon Palace to solve my body's problem, I will come back to accompany you immediately." Silly girl. Hearing Mo Ling's words, Mo Yueru was relieved. She hugged Mo Ling with a face full of reluctance. Seeing Mo Ling's decision, the others did not say anything. They could understand why Mo Ling made such a decision. Mo Ling's action at this moment seemed to be cruel to leave Mo Yueru. However, she did so out of filial piety. Seeing that Mo Ling had made his decision, Mo Qingyun looked solemn. He asked Yu Qianni, "What is Luo Yuan's status in the Dark Moon Palace?" "Sister Mo Ling will go to the Dark Moon Palace." "Will she harm Sister Mo Ling?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun asked about Luo Yuan's status, Yu Qianni said in a deep voice, "Although Luo Yuan's father is a sex guardian, you don't have to worry about Princess Ling's safety. In the Dark Moon Palace, no one dares to harm Princess Ling. In addition, after Princess Ling goes to the Dark Moon Palace, junior sister Luo Yuan will not dare to harm the Mo family." "That's the best." Hearing Yu Qianni's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and said with a cold face, "Also, tell Luo Yuan for me that she better not have any thoughts of harming the Mo family. Otherwise, even the Dark Moon Palace will not be able to protect her." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qianni's expression changed again. He looked at Mo Qingyun seriously, trying to find something extraordinary about Mo Qingyun. However, after looking at him for a while, he failed. Mo Qingyun did not have anything special except for the arrogant tone in his voice. Yu Qianni replied, "I will pass on your message." At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was talking, the sound of galloping horse hooves came from outside the Lianyan city. After the sound of the galloping horse hooves came, a terrifying aura rushed toward the Azure Jade Mansion at an extremely fast speed. After realizing this, everyone's expression changed. Their hearts skipped a beat, and they felt a little uneasy. "The Du family is here. Mo family, come out and face your death." At this moment, when everyone was feeling uneasy, an arrogant voice came from outside the Seven Stars killing formation. "The Du family is here. The real Du family is here." After realizing this, everyone's expression became serious. The moment had finally come. Seeing the people of the Du family outside the Seven Stars killing formation, Yu Qianni's expression turned cold. He asked Mo Qingyun, "Do you need me to do something?" "No need. They're just some clowns." Hearing Yu Qianni's words, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and refused. He said, "If you attack the Du family, you will be violating the rules of the prefecture. Even the Black Moon Palace will not be able to protect you. You know about the prefecture?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qianni's expression changed. Waves of shock rose in his heart. He said in shock, "Who are you?" "With your identity as the third-generation junior of the Mo family, it is impossible for you to know about the existence of the prefecture. The region of prefectures was the real world of experts. Even the Dark Moon Palace seemed extremely small in that place. You are not qualified to know who I am at the moment." Mo Qingyun replied Yu Qianni. He looked at Yu Qianni with a faint smile and said, "In the future, when the time is right, you will naturally know." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qianni fell silent. However, he did not continue to ask. With his experience, he could naturally tell that Mo Qingyun's words contained a taboo. It was not something he could ask. Chapter 166. Bang! A loud sound came from the Seven Stars killing array as the Du family members outside started to break the array. However, compared to Luo Yuan's attack, the commotion caused by Du Luo's men was much smaller. 1 second-stage Pill Palace, 3 first-stage Pill Palace, 4 half-step Pill Palace, and dozens of Yuan Dan experts. When Du Luo attacked the Seven Stars killing array, Mo Qingyun sensed the strength of the Du family members outside. He smiled playfully and said, "To deal with us, the Du family actually sent out such a lineup. They really think highly of us." With a faint smile, Mo Qingyun looked at Wan Lianyun and the rest and said, "City Lord Wan, you guys enter the array. I'll give them a taste of their own medicine." "Okay." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others nodded and walked into the formation one after another to control it. As Wan Lianyun and the rest entered the array, the Seven Stars killing array's aura immediately surged and emitted a sharp aura. "Open." Seeing that Wan Lianyun and the rest were in position, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and formed a hand seal. He struck it towards the void, following which an opening appeared in the Seven Stars killing array. Near the opening, a half-step pill palace elder of the Du family sneered when he saw the opening. "You actually opened the array. You're courting death." As soon as he finished speaking, the half-step pill palace elder of the Du family moved and charged into the Seven Stars killing array. Close. Seeing that the elder of the Du family had entered the Seven Stars killing array, Mo Qingyun quickly formed another hand seal and struck it towards the void, following which the opening closed up in the blink of an eye. "City Lord Wan, you guys control the array and kill the enemy." While the array was closing up, Mo Qingyun instructed Wan Lianyun and the rest to kill the enemy. "Okay." Hearing Mo Qingyun's instructions, Wan Lianyun and the rest responded and no longer hesitated. They channeled their origin energy into the Seven Stars killing array and controlled the sword Qi to slash at the half-step pill palace elder of the Du family. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Under the control of Wan Lianyun and the others, streams of sword Qi tore through the air and slashed towards the Du family elder. What a strong sword Qi. There's actually such a strong sword Qi in this array formation. Looking at the dozens of sword Qi that were comparable to the full power of a half-step pill palace, the Du family's elder's expression changed and a wave of panic rose in his heart. From the looks of it, he seemed to have overestimated himself this time. Retreat. After discovering this, the Du family elder immediately had the thought of running away. He was very clear that he wouldn't be able to deal with so many sword Qi attacks that were comparable to a half-step pill palace expert. Then, the half-step pill palace elder of the Du family ran towards the exit of the Seven Stars killing array. He raised his hand and punched towards the Seven Stars killing array, wanting to break the array and leave. Since we can't break it from the outside, it should be easier to attack from the inside. At this moment, the elder of the Du family had such a thought. He coldly snorted and said, "Open! Pound!" However, what the elder of the Du family didn't expect was that under his attack, the Seven Stars killing array didn't even budge. After discovering this, the elder of the Du family's expression changed and revealed a hint of panic. He exclaimed, "Oh no, the stability of this array formation is much stronger than the outside. With my cultivation, I can't break it." It came in the blink of an eye. Just as the elder of the Du family was panicking, the sword Qi of the Seven Stars killing array was already in front of him. Seeing this, the elder of the Du family's expression changed, and he raised his hand to attack the sword Qi. Golden Wheel Mountain, splitting palm. Seeing the sword Qi approaching, the elder of the Du family frantically waved both his palms and blasted out a series of golden wheel palm shadows. Clang, clang, clang. When the golden wheel palm shadows and the sword Qi collided, it was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were fighting. Sounds of weapons clashing could be heard. At this moment, outside the Seven Stars killing array. Not good. Elder Min Min is in danger. The elder of the Du family, who was in the second level of the Pill Palace, saw this, and his expression immediately changed. He said angrily, "This group of treacherous people actually used a trap to lure Elder Min Min into the array. They intend to use the array formation to deal with Elder Min Min." The elder of the Du family, who was in the first level of the Pill Palace, was also anxious. He asked, "What should we do now? This array formation is too strong. We can't break it in a short period of time." Although the Du family was powerful, Losing a half-step pill palace expert was an extremely painful matter to them. Attack with all your might and break the array as fast as possible to save Elder Min Min. As the elder of the second level of the pill palace finished speaking, he frantically attacked the 7 stars killing array. Every attack was earth-shattering. Bang, bang, bang. Outside the 7 stars killing array, under the frenzied attacks of the Du family, a series of loud bangs could be heard. At the same time, waves of shocking rebounding force were released one after another, sweeping out in all directions. Puff, puff, puff. Under this rebounding force, some people with weaker cultivations were directly sent flying and coughed up blood. In an instant, the scene became incomparably chaotic. Looking at the actions of the Du family outside the 7 stars killing array, Mo Qingyun revealed a playful smile. He looked at Elder Min Min and sneered. They won't be able to save you. You better stay here obediently. Heavenly Soul Seal. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he took out 27 Heavenly Soul Seals and attacked Elder Min Min in his stomach. As the Heavenly Soul Seal that was condensed previously had exploded when he attacked Luo Yuan, the current Heavenly Soul Seal was condensed temporarily and its power was weaker than before. Even so, it was more than enough to deal with Elder Min Min. After all, his cultivation couldn't be compared to Luo Yuan. Puff, puff, puff. Facing the attack of the Heavenly Soul Seal, Elder Min Min's soul was immediately injured and his consciousness was slightly dazed. While Elder Min Min was in a daze, Wan Lianyun controlled the sword chi of the array and slashed on his body. Puff, puff, puff. Facing the attack of the sword chi, Elder Min Min was immediately turned into a cork. The sword chi caused numerous wounds on his body. You. Under the onslaught of the sword chi that was comparable to a half-step pill palace's attack, Du Zimin was instantly killed. He looked at Mo Qingyun and the others with unwillingness in his eyes, unable to say a single word. Following that, Elder Min Min's body fell to the ground, and he died unwillingly. Elder Min Min. Seeing Elder Min Min being killed, the Du family members outside immediately went crazy and shouted loudly. It was a pity that Elder Min Min, who was in the 7 stars killing array, couldn't hear them anymore. Little thief of the Mo family, you won't have a good death. If you have the guts, come out and fight with me. You bunch of cowards. What's the point of hiding in the array? After we break this array, we'll definitely tear your Mo family members into pieces and throw your corpses into the wilderness. At this moment, the Du family members went crazy and shouted at the Azure Jade Manor. They couldn't accept the fact that they came with the intention of killing the entire Mo family. However, in the end, not only did they fail to kill the Mo family members, they even lost a half-step pill palace elder to them. To them, this matter was simply too embarrassing. It was a great humiliation. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the Du family members' crazy actions outside the array. He stood up and walked towards Elder Min Min's corpse. He thought to himself, with the blood essence of the Du family's half-step pill palace elder, Qi Lian's cultivation should be able to recover faster. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun kept Elder Min Min's corpse in his chinquan bag and walked towards Qi Lian's residence. Before leaving, Mo Qingyun said to Wan Lianyun and the rest, City Lord Wan, you guys continue to guard here. I'll leave for a while. Okay. Chapter 167. After a short while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qi Lian's residence. After arriving at Qi Lian's residence, Mo Qingyun greeted Du Luo and the others before walking into Qi Lian's room. With the help of the Yin-Yang breakthrough pill, Qi Lian's injuries had already recovered slightly. The aura he emitted was comparable to that of an Yuan Dan realm expert. Young Lord, you're here. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Qi Lian stopped refining the Yin-Yang breakthrough pill and greeted Mo Qingyun. And Mo Qingyun nodded in response. He took out Elder Du Zimin's corpse and threw it in front of Qi Lian. With this person's blood essence, your cultivation should be able to recover faster. The corpse of a half-step pill palace expert, Qi Lian was shocked when he saw Du Zimin's corpse. He revealed a trace of pleasant surprise and said, "With the help of this person's essence blood and the yin-yang breakthrough pill, my injuries will definitely recover within 5 days." Great. Hearing Qi Lian's answer, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied expression and nodded. After that, Mo Qingyun gave a few more instructions before leaving Qi Lian's room. After leaving Qi Lian's room, Mo Qingyun, Du Luo, and the others exchanged a few words before returning to the great conference hall. When Mo Qingyun arrived, the Du family was still attacking the 7 stars killing array. However, the effect was minimal. Letting them attack the array like flies won't do. I have to think of solution. Mo Qingyun frowned as he looked at the Du family members bombarding the array formation. He began to think a way to deal with them. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yuchini by the side also frowned slightly. In a deep voice, he said, "Although this formation's defensive strength is extraordinary, it is still a little weak in terms of offensive capabilities. It would be best if it had a little more offensive capabilities." Due to the lack of materials to refine the 7 stars killing formation, the materials used to refine the 7 stars killing formation are all substituted with other materials. Thus, it is impossible to unleash the full might of the 7 stars killing formation. Mo Qingyun's face was solemn as he replied to Yuchini. "Furthermore, City Lord Wan, who assisted me in setting up the array, is only at the half-step Pill Palace realm. Because of that, the power of the 7 stars slaughtering array has been weakened." "I see." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qinyi's face revealed a look of understanding. He nodded his head, paused for a moment, and then said, "If that's the case, doesn't it mean that the stronger the cultivation of the person who set up the 7 stars killing array, the greater the power of the 7 stars killing array?" "That's right." Hearing Yu Qinyi's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up. He looked at Yu Qinyi and said, "Now that you mention it, I suddenly remembered that you, an expert at the 8th stage of the Pill Palace realm, are standing beside me. If you help me perfect the array, it should be able to increase its power by a few levels." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qinyi revealed a look of curiosity and asked, "The array that has already been set up can be perfected again?" "Of course." Mo Qingyun nodded his head in response. "If that's the case, let's not delay any longer. Let's start perfecting the array immediately." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qinyi's eyes also lit up. He smiled faintly and said, "Increase the power of the array a little. Then, I can rest assured and bring Princess Ling to the Black Moon Palace." "All right." Mo Qingyun nodded his head. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun and Yu Qinyi started working together to perfect the 7 stars slaughtering array. During this time, Mo Qingyun and Yu Qinyi conversed and found out that Yu Qinyi had 2 materials that could be used to complete the 7 stars slaughtering array. Thus, Mo Qingyun took them over and refined them into the array. With the addition of these 2 materials, the power of the 7 stars slaughtering array immediately increased by several folds. It had the aura of a complete array. After a few hours, Mo Qingyun and Yu Qinyi revealed a satisfied expression and stopped what they were doing. Now, the power of the 7 star slaughtering array has almost reached 10% of the power of a complete 7 star slaughtering array. Looking at the perfected 7 star slaughtering array, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction. 10%. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yu Qinyi's expression changed once again. A wave of shock rose in his heart. He could clearly feel that the current power of the 7 star slaughtering array could already threaten an expert at the 2nd stage of the Pill Palace realm. Even so, this was only 10% of the power of a complete array. One could imagine how strong the complete 7 star slaughtering array was. While Yu Qinyi was still in shock, Mo Qingyun squinted his eyes and looked at the people of the Du family outside the array. He smiled faintly and said, "Since the array has been perfected, it's time to get rid of these flies." Sword Qi condensation. After Mo Qingyun's words, he quickly formed a hand seal and struck it towards the 7 stars slaughtering array. After the hand seal entered the 7 stars slaughtering array, the array suddenly emitted a dazzling light. Following that, rays of sword chi condensed and formed. Slash. Seeing the sword chi condensed, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate. He immediately controlled the sword chi and slashed towards the people of the Du family outside the array. Poo. Facing this sudden attack of sword chi, some of the elders of the Du family with lower cultivation were unable to react in time. The sword chi directly sliced through their waists and separated their heads from their bodies. Seeing the unforeseen event, the elder of the second stage of the Pill Palace realm from the Du family suddenly changed his expression and shouted to the crowd, "Retreat! Quickly retreat!" Not long after, the people of the Du family distanced themselves from the 7 stars of slaughtering array, not daring to get close to the Blue Jade Mansion. Consider yourself lucky to have run fast. Seeing that the people of the Du family had retreated and avoided being killed by the sword chi of the 7 stars of slaughtering array, Emo Qingyun coldly laughed. He raised his hand and struck another hand seal towards the array. Under Emo Qingyun's hand seal, the sword chi gradually dissipated and returned to the array. Outside the 7 stars slaughtering array, the few elders of the Du family saw that more than 10 Yuan Dan realm guests were killed in the blink of an eye. Their eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. Despicable. This was too despicable. In a moment of carelessness, they actually lost more than 10 Yuan Dan realm guests. Moreover, this was under the condition that they could not even break through the array of the Blue Jade Mansion. To them, this was a huge failure and humiliation. After thinking about this, the elder of the second stage of the Pill Palace realm from the Du family's face darkened. He shouted towards the Blue Jade Mansion, "Cowards of the Mo family, don't be so smug. If you have the ability, don't come out for the rest of your life. We will guard outside the Blue Jade Mansion for 3 to 5 years. We will cut off your food supply and starve you to death." Qingyun, hearing the words of the elder of the Du family, Emo Hongtian and the others' faces changed, revealing a trace of worry. Although their cultivation had reached the Yuan Dan realm, and they could go without food or water for several months, 3 to 5 years was not something they could endure. Moreover, there were still some juniors of the True Energy realm and True Energy realm in the Blue Jade Mansion. There were even some juniors of the Body Tempering realm. If there was really no food supply for a year and a half, these juniors would have already starved to death. Emo Qingyun was very clear about the thoughts of Emo Hongtian and the others. Seeing this, he smiled faintly and said, "Everyone, don't worry. I have a way to deal with the Du family." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the rest of the Mo family did not say anything else. They believed that Emo Qingyun had his own plans. After going through so many things, they had unknowingly developed an inexplicable trust in Emo Qingyun. Let's go in first. The Du family has just suffered a loss. They probably won't dare to break the array for a while. Emo Qingyun waved his hand at the crowd, indicating for them to return to the conference hall. Chapter 168. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Perhaps it was because of the offensive power displayed by the array, which made the Du family wary. In these few days, the Du family members were much more well-behaved. They only silently guarded outside the Bu mansion and did not continue to attack the array. As a result, the Du family and the Bu mansion were in a stalemate. It was a competition to see who would give up first. Emo Qingyun and the others were happy to see this, so they were able to enjoy some peace and quiet. However, at this moment, outside the Bu mansion's conference hall, everyone was reluctant to part. This was because Mo Ling was about to leave with Yuqiani. Mother Ling is leaving. Mo Ling hugged Mo Yueru reluctantly. The corner of his eyes shone as he sobbed. "Once I solve the problem of my physique, I will come back to see you immediately." Good. Hearing this, Mo Yueru nodded her head in satisfaction. She was reluctant to part with Mo Ling and said, "You are alone outside. Mother is not by your side. You must learn to take care of yourself." While Mo Yueru and Mo Ling were talking, Emo Qingyun's face turned serious. He looked at Yu Qiani and asked, "When will you return from the Black Moon Palace? Are you going to leave Second Aunt for another 20 years?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Yueru looked at Mo Qingyun gratefully. Mo Qingyun had spoken her thoughts. Immediately, Mo Yueru looked at Yu Qianyi with anticipation. Seeing everyone looking at him, Yu Qianyi replied with a serious face. This time, after I send Princess Ling back to the Black Moon Palace, I will return immediately. I will return to the Bu Mansion in half a year if I am fast and a year if I am slow. Good. Mo Qingyun nodded his head in satisfaction. Following this, everyone chatted for a while. Then, Yu Qianyi flew out of the Bu Mansion with Mo Ling outside the Bu Mansion. Seeing Yu Qianyi and Mo Ling come out, one of the Du family members' expressions changed. He said to the second-level Pill Palace Elder Wanchuan, someone came out of the Bu Mansion. They're finally willing to come out. Hearing the words of the person beside him, Du Wanchuan's face darkened. With a slight movement, he rushed towards Yu Qianyi and Yu Qianyi. Not long after, Du Wanchuan and the others stood in front of Yu Qianyi and Mo Ling, blocking their path. Du Wanchuan sneered. I thought you would hide in the Azure Jade Mansion forever and be coward for the rest of your lives. The Du family is blocking Ling Er's path. Seeing the actions of the Du clan, the expressions of the people in the Azure Jade Mansion immediately changed and became somewhat complicated. With Yu Qianyi's cultivation level, they naturally wouldn't be worried about the safety of Mo Ling and Yu Qianyi. At this moment, they started to sympathize with the Du clan. If they knew that they had blocked the path of an expert at the 8th level of the Pill Palace, who knew what kind of thoughts they would have? While Mo Qingyun and the rest were lost in their own thoughts, Du Wanchuan sneered as he looked at Yu Qianyi and said in a cold voice, Sir, are you the helper the Mo family invited? Helpers invited by the Mo clan? Hearing Du Wanchuan's words, Yu Qianyi couldn't help but be stunned. He looked at Du Wanchuan and the others with a strange expression. These people from the Du clan treated him as a helper of the Mo clan. Such an outcome made him not know whether to laugh or cry. If he was really a helper invited by the Mo clan, with the strength of these people from the Du clan, they would have all been annihilated by him. Sir, it wasn't easy for you to cultivate to the Pill Palace realm. Don't make a mistake, Du Wanchuan said with an arrogant expression and a slightly threatening tone as he looked at Yu Qianyi and said, My Du clan loves talents. If you turn over a new leaf and swear to serve my Du clan for 100 years, my Du clan can give you the position of an elder and generous treatment. The position of an elder and generous treatment. Hearing Du Wanchuan's words, even Mo Ling's expression at the side became strange. He looked at Du Wanchuan as if he was an idiot. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry in his heart. Was he trying to recruit Yu Qianyi? She didn't know whether to say that the Du clan was an idiot or an idiot. Seeing Mo Ling's expression, the faces of the people from the Du clan immediately sank, and they glared at Mo Ling. Damn girl. What kind of expression is that? Do you believe that we won't dig your eyeballs out? Elder Guyu, you're too cruel. How can you treat such a beautiful girl so cruelly? I was just planning to find another house to give myself some novelty. I feel that this girl is very suitable. For a moment, the eyes of the Du clan's elders lit up and they looked at Mo Ling with evil smiles. Hearing the words of the people from the Du clan, Yu Qianyi's face sank, and he said coldly, Scram, or die. As soon as Yu Qianyi finished speaking, he released the aura of an 8th-stage Pill Palace, and it crushed towards the people from the Du clan. Under Yu Qianyi's aura, the faces of the people from the Du clan changed, and they looked at Yu Qianyi with fear. Puff, puff, puff. At the same time, under the pressure of Yu Qianyi's powerful aura, the people from the Du clan vomited blood. High-level Pill Palace. At this moment, the minds of the people from the Du clan went blank, and they lost the ability to think. The person in front of them was actually a high-level Pill Palace. They actually dared to threaten a high-level Pill Palace expert. They were courting death. Say, Senior, please spare our lives. We'll scram. After a short moment of shock, the people from the Du clan immediately showed fear, and they begged Yu Qianyi for mercy. Yu Qianyi's face was cold, and he said to the people from the Du clan, "Scram, don't let me see you again." "Yes, yes, yes." After that, the people from the Du clan fled like stray dogs. Seeing the people from the Du clan leave, Yu Qianyi's eyes flashed with a cold light. He hesitated for a moment, and then left with Mo Ling. What a pity. If only Qian Yi killed the people from the Du clan directly. Seeing Yu Qian Yi let the people from the Du clan go, the people from the Blue Jade Palace felt that it was a pity. Seeing Yu Qian Yi leave, Mo Qingyun suddenly frowned and his expression changed slightly. He said to himself, "I hope that nothing will happen to Yu Qian Yi when he returns to the Black Moon Palace." Not knowing why, when Yu Qian Yi left, Mo Qingyun suddenly felt a trace of uneasiness in his heart. Boom! At this moment, when Yu Qian Yi left, a terrifying aura suddenly exploded in the Blue Jade Palace. The aura of the Pill Palace realm. In the Blue Jade Palace, someone's cultivation base had broken through to the Pill Palace realm. After this discovery, everyone's expression changed and a sense of shock rose in their hearts. At the same time, they were also puzzled. Who was it that broke through to the Pill Palace? In the Blue Jade Palace, only Qi Lian and Wan Lianyun's cultivation base were at the half-step Pill Palace. It was possible for them to break through to the Pill Palace. However, Qi Lian was heavily injured and Wan Lianyun was in front of everyone. If that was the case, who was the one that broke through to the Pill Palace? Could it be that President Du Luo broke through to the Pill Palace? Or eminent Elder Zhao Qi? For a moment, everyone was guessing in their hearts. While everyone was guessing in their hearts, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and said in surprise, "I didn't expect Qi Lian to benefit from a disaster and enter the Pill Palace realm." What? Qi Lian who broke through to the Pill Palace realm? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was shocked. They were surprised by this result. They didn't think that the one who broke through to the Pill Palace realm would be the heavily injured Qi Lian. After knowing that Qi Lian broke through, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately went to Qi Lian's residence. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the others didn't hesitate and followed behind Mo Qingyun. After a while, everyone arrived at Qi Lian's small courtyard. At this moment, everyone could clearly feel a terrifying wave of elemental energy coming from Qi Lian's small house. Not only has Mr. Qi recovered from his injuries, but he has also broken through to the Pill Palace realm. This is great. This way, we will have more confidence in fighting against the Du family in the future. Yes, with Mr. Qi's cultivation base, once he breaks through to the Pill Palace realm, he will have the power to fight against a second-level Pill Palace. For a moment, everyone was excited inside. Chapter 169. An hour later, Qi Lian stopped cultivating and opened his eyes with a look of ecstasy. He didn't expect that refining Du Zimin's blood essence and using the yin-yang breakthrough pellet would allow him to break through to the Pill Palace realm. Although the half-step Pill Palace realm was only a step away from the Pill Palace realm, the difference between the two realms was huge. His current strength was at least several times stronger than before he broke through. Qi Lian walked out of the room and saw Mo Qingyun outside. He immediately bowed and thanked him. "Thank you, young lord, for giving me the yin-yang breakthrough pellet." Feeling the aura of the Pill Palace realm from Qi Lian, Wan Lianyun looked at Qi Lian with envy. He was also a half-step Pill Palace realm cultivator. If he had the yin-yang breakthrough pellet, he might be able to break through to the Pill Palace realm. After looking at Qi Lian with envy, Wan Lianyun frowned and said to Mo Qingyun, "Mr. Mo, now that the Du family has left, shouldn't we take this opportunity to go out and get some food?" Wan Lianyun continued, "We'll take this opportunity to get enough food. When the time comes, even if the people of the Du family return, we won't have to worry about running out of food and ammunition and starving to death." City Lord Wan is right. Now that the Du family has left, it's a good opportunity for us to prepare food. Du Luo and the others nodded in agreement with Wan Lianyun's idea. "I have the same idea." Mo Qingyun nodded and said, "I will leave the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian later to gather food." Everyone, Stay in the Azure Jade Mansion and don't leave. Okay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded in agreement. At the same time, they said to Mo Qingyun with concern, "However, you and Mr. Qi have to be careful when you go out." After that, Mo Qingyun gave some instructions to Mo Hongtian and the others before leaving the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian. After leaving the Azure Jade Mansion, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian started to gather food crazily. As long as it was edible, they put it into their Chinquin bag. One day later, under Mo Qingyun's crazy plundering, nearly half of the food in the thousands of towns around Lianyun City was taken by them. This food should be enough for the people of the Azure Jade Manor to eat for 3 to 5 years. Seeing that the hundreds of Chinquin bags on him were all filled, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. Since we've finished collecting the food, it's time to return to the Azure Jade Mansion. After that, Mo Qingyun didn't delay any longer and returned to the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian. A few hours later, Mo Qingyun and Li Wuyo returned to the Bu Mansion. "Qingyun, you're back." Mo Hongtian and the others smiled when they saw Mo Qingyun and Li Qiye return. They surrounded Mo Qingyun and Li Qiye. "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded in response. He handed all the Chinquin bags to Mo Hongtian and said, "Grandfather, these Chinquin bags are filled with food. It should be enough for everyone to eat for 3 to 5 years." "That's great." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's faces immediately lit up with joy. Each and every one of them looked extremely excited. They didn't expect Mo Qingyun and Li Wuyo to be so fast. In just one day, they had collected so much food. However, after a short moment of surprise, Du Luo frowned slightly and said with some distress, "Good disciple, although there's a lot of food and it's enough for everyone to eat for 3 to 5 years, it's impossible for it to still be fresh after 3 to 5 years. You don't have to worry about this. I've already thought about it." Mo Qingyun seemed to have expected that everyone would ask such a question. When he heard this, he smiled faintly and said, "In a moment, I will set up an ice cellar formation and then put the food into the ice cellar formation. At that time, the food will still be very fresh even if it has been stored for 8 to 10 years." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was overjoyed. The worry on their faces instantly disappeared. Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate and immediately set up the ice cellar formation to keep the food fresh. At this time, while Mo Qingyun was setting up the ice cellar formation, in the midst of escaping, an elder of the Du family suddenly revealed a puzzled expression. He stopped and said, "Elder Wang Chuan, Elder Yuhi, do you feel that something is wrong?" Hearing Du Wangyang's words, everyone in the Du family was puzzled. They asked in confusion, "Elder Wangyang, why do you say that?" Hearing everyone's question, Du Wangyang paused and said, "Think about it. If that high-level expert from the Pill Palace was a helper invited by the Mo family, why didn't he make a move earlier? Also, after we angered him, why didn't he make a move to kill us? Yes, after hearing Wang Yang's words, I also feel that something is wrong." At this time, after hearing Du Wangyang's words, a puzzled expression appeared on an elder's face. He said, "With that person's strength, it should be easy for him to kill us. Why didn't he do so?" Hearing the words of the two elders in front of him, Du Wangchuan's eyes narrowed as he began to ponder. After pondering for a while, Du Wangchuan's face darkened. He said coldly, "What you mean is that that person might not be related to the Blue Jade Manor. It was just a coincidence that he came out from the Blue Jade Manor. We can't rule out this possibility. Only in this case can everything be explained." Du Wangyang's brows furrowed. He muttered to himself for a while and said, "Otherwise, with the enmity between us and the Blue Jade Manor, there is no reason for him to let us go." "That is indeed the case." Du Yuha nodded, agreeing with Du Wangyang's thoughts. "In that case, we shouldn't give up. Instead, we should return and continue to guard the Blue Jade Manor." Du Wanchuan asked everyone in front of him. A trace of worry appeared on his face as he said, "However, if that person is related to the Blue Jade Manor, wouldn't we be going against his wishes if we want to find trouble with them? If he blames us, Our Du family won't be able to bear it. Elder Wanchuan, what do you think? Could that person be from one of those places? Du Wanyang's eyes shone brightly. His face was cold as he said, I've heard that there are many powerful forces outside the Empire. There are some rules between them. They are not allowed to interfere with the matters of the Empire. Otherwise, they will be severely punished. Could it be that the person before did not kill us because he was concerned about this? That's very possible. The few elders at the side immediately nodded in agreement. If that's the case, we don't have to worry about him. Moreover, if we return, we'll just guard the Blue Jade Manor and trap the people inside. If we don't make a move, he might not be able to discover us. Du Wanyang added. Elder Wanyang's words make sense. After hearing Du Wanyang's words, Du Wanchuan's expression turned cold. He said a deep voice, Humph. Let's return to Lianyun City. Following that, Du Wanchuan moved and returned to Lianyun City. At this moment, when the Du family members were returning to Lianyun City, in a dense forest, a woman revealed a cold smile and said coldly, Yu Qianni, since you've brought Princess Ling back to the Black Moon Palace, I'd like to see who can stop me from killing those ants from the Blue Jade Manor. This woman was none other than Luo Yuan, who was injured by Yu Qian Yi in the Blue Jade Manor a few days ago. That day, after Luo Yuan was injured and left the Blue Jade Manor, she did not return to the Black Moon Palace immediately. Instead, she stopped at a path that must be taken on the way to the Black Moon Palace from Lianyun City. She planned to recover from her injuries while waiting for Yu Qian Yi to leave the Blue Jade Manor. Then, she would return to the Blue Jade Manor to seek revenge. After a few days of waiting, she finally saw Yu Qian Yi leave with Mo Ling. Now, she could finally seek revenge on the Mo family. Mo Yueru, you bitch, I'll make you and your clan suffer. Chapter 170. After setting up the eye cellar formation and solving the problem of food preservation, Mo Qingyun went into seclusion. However, during this seclusion, Mo Qingyun did not cultivate to raise his cultivation base. Instead, he began to refine elixirs. He planned to refine all the elixirs he had on him into elixirs for the Mo clan to raise their cultivation base. In fact, this idea had appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind a long time ago. It was just that he had been holding it back. While Mo Qingyun was refining elixirs, the people from the Alchemist Union were not idling around. They were also refining elixirs with all their might. To everyone, instead of keeping the elixirs, they might as well turn them into elixirs to raise their cultivation base. As for the others, they were cultivating with all their might. They were racing against time to raise their cultivation base. Just like that, a frenzy of cultivation appeared in the Azure Jade Mansion. Following that, time passed by slowly as everyone cultivated. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Bang! A loud sound came from the 7 Stars Killing Formation. Following that, a terrifying wave of origin energy swept out from the 7 Stars Killing Formation. Someone was breaking the formation. After realizing this, the expressions of everyone in the Azure Jade Mansion changed. Their hearts skipped a beat as they walked out of the house. After everyone walked out of the house, they saw a delicate figure waving a long sword as she crazily attacked the formation. After seeing this figure, the expressions of everyone in the Azure Jade Mansion changed. Their expressions turned grave. Luo Yuan. The person who was trying to break the formation was actually Luo Yuan, who came with Yu Qianyi. This woman had actually returned. Everyone knew her strength very well. She had reached the 6th level of the Pill Palace stage. If she attacked the formation crazily, no one was confident that she would be able to break the formation in the end. After all, her cultivation base was only 1 step away from reaching the advanced level of the Pill Palace. Of course, the crowd did not know that after Mo Qingyun and Yu Qian Yi perfected the formation, not only did the formation's attack increase, but its defense also increased by a lot. Didn't this woman leave already? Wan Lianyun looked solemn as he looked worriedly at Luo Yuan, who was outside the formation. I didn't expect this woman to return. The faces of Du Luo and the rest were similarly solemn as they said in a deep voice. If the Du clan members also return and join forces with this woman to break the array, I'm afraid that the situation will be very bad. What should we do now? Mo Hongtian looked at Wan Lianyun and the others worriedly and asked for their opinion. Everyone suddenly realized that Mo Qingyun was not here. At this moment, everyone seemed to have lost their backbone. At this moment, while everyone was worried, Qi Lian had a calm expression as he consoled everyone. Everyone, don't worry. The 7-star slaughter formation has been perfected by the young lord and Yu Qian Yi, and it has been improved in all aspects. This woman's strength isn't enough to break it. Qi Lian continued. Let's wait and see for the time being. We'll wait for the young lord to finish refining the pills. At that time, we'll discuss the specific countermeasures. All right. After hearing Qi Lian's words, everyone's worried expressions eased up a little. From their point of view, Qi Lian was now a Pill Palace realm expert. His foresight was much stronger than theirs. Since Qi Lian had said so, there shouldn't be any problems. Next, everyone watched Luo Yuan's actions as they waited for Mo Qingyun to come out. About 2 hours later, Mo Qingyun finished refining the pills and left the small courtyard, walking towards everyone. Luo Yuan, this woman is back. After arriving, Mo Qingyun greeted everyone as he looked at Luo Yuan, who was outside the array, in shock. After looking at Luo Yuan in shock, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He said coldly to Luo Yuan, aren't you afraid of being punished by the prefecture for attacking someone from a low-level empire? Punishment by the prefecture? After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Luo Yuan stopped what she was doing and sneered disdainfully. Brat, do you think that after I kill all of you, there will still be people who will spread the news of what happened here to the prefecture? Luo Yuan sneered and said, moreover, do you think that the major forces in the prefecture will have the time to care about your life and death? After hearing Luo Yuan's words, everyone's expression changed. Their faces turned ugly. Luo Yuan's words were true. Although the prefecture had a rule that the forces in the prefecture couldn't attack the people from a low-level empire, it was only a rule. However, this was only a rule. No one would offend the powerhouses of a province for some small fry with no background. With Luo Yuan's background, even if she killed Mo Qingyun and the others, it wouldn't be a big deal. After all, she was different from Yu Qian. Her father was an elder of the Black Moon Palace, an expert who had reached the Heaven Dipper realm. If she committed a crime, her father would definitely protect her with all his strength. In the end, it would be nothing more than a big bang. After some compensation, it would be over. After hearing Luo Yuan's words, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He looked at Luo Yuan coldly and said in a deep voice, Humph, since you don't know what's good for you, I'll make you suffer. Heh, kid, you're quite arrogant. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Luo Yuan disdainfully said, Kid, I was careless the last time and suffered your soul attack. Do you think you'll have the chance to sneak attack me again? After I break this array, I'll tear all of you into pieces. After finishing her words, Luo Yuan attacked the array again, causing the 7 stars killing array to shake continuously. From this, it could be seen that the destructive power of a 6th-level Dan Palace was extremely strong. City Lord Wan, enter the array. After seeing Luo Yuan's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He ordered Wan Lianyun and the others. Okay. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others immediately responded. They entered the array and channeled their origin energy into the 7 stars killing array. After Wan Lianyun and the others channeled their origin energy into the 7 stars killing array, the power of the array immediately increased by several folds. Sword Chi condense. As the aura of the 7 stars killing array became stronger, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate. He immediately formed a hand seal and sent it into the array, following which streaks of sword chi that were comparable to the attack of a 2nd-level Pill Palace expert condensed at an extremely fast speed. Slash. Once the sword chi was formed, Mo Qingyun controlled the sword chi and attacked Luo Yuan. The power of the array has become stronger. Feeling the power of the sword Qi, Luo Yuan's expression immediately changed. Shortly after, her expression became gloomy and cold as she said, "You Chinny, it's you again. You actually helped these guys to perfect the array. I hate you." With Luo Yuan's experience after seeing it, she could naturally tell that the array had become stronger because of Yu Chinny's help. After saying those words of resentment, Luo Yuan revealed a look of disdain and said, "Umph. Even if the array has become stronger, it still can't do anything to me. Break for me." After saying that, Luo Yuan raised her long sword and slashed at the sword Qi. In an instant, the sword Qi that was attacking her was destroyed. Following which, Mo Qingyun continuously controlled the sword Qi to attack Luo Yuan. However, Luo Yuan was after all a 6th-level Dan Palace expert. Although the power of the 7 stars killing array had increased, it was still unable to do anything to her. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun frowned and thought to himself, "This isn't going to work. It seems like I have to think of a way." Dong, dong, dong. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was thinking, the sound of galloping horses could be heard. After hearing the galloping sounds, the expressions of the people in the Azure Jade Mansion changed and became somewhat unsightly. They knew that the people from the Du family had arrived. If the people from the Du family came, what would they do when they joined forces with Luo Yuan to break the array? The people from the Du family are here. While everyone was worried, Mo Qingyun's eyes suddenly lit up and a playful smile appeared on his face. "Mo family, we're back." At this moment, Du Wangchuan revealed a gloomy expression and said arrogantly, "This time." However, before Du Wangchuan could finish speaking, Mo Qingyun immediately responded, interrupting the latter half of his sentence. "Elder Du, we've been waiting for you for a long time." Chapter 171. Elder Wangchuan, do you think this kid is stupid? He actually said that he has been waiting for us for a long time. Also, this kid seemed to have said that he would join forces with us to deal with that girl. Did he take the wrong medicine? It seems like this kid has offended quite a number of people. I didn't think that he would have other enemies besides us. No, this kid is trying to sow discord between us and that girl. What a cunning kid. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Du family members immediately revealed looks of disdain and started mocking him. But very quickly, the smiles on their faces froze as they felt that something was amiss. Just as they felt that something was amiss, a terrifying aura came crashing down on them. The source of this terrifying aura was the girl in front of them. 6th level of the Dan Palace. The girl in front of them was actually a 6th level Dan Palace expert. Even in the entire Xia country, there wasn't a single person like her. They never thought that the person who was attacking the array of the Azure Jade Mansion would be such a terrifying existence. But what gave them a headache was that Mo Qingyun's words seemed to have caused the other party to be hostile towards them. Feeling Luo Yuan's gaze filled with hatred, the Du family members' faces changed as a sense of unease rose in their hearts. They seemed to have been tricked by Mo Qingyun. That despicable kid. Du Wangchuan was going crazy. His face was filled with hatred as he gritted his teeth and said, "This kid isn't trying to sow discord. He wants to kill with a borrowed knife." Kill with a borrowed knife? Hearing Du Wangchuan's words, the Du family members' hearts skipped a beat as they felt an intense sense of unease. The girl in front of them was at the 6th level of the Dan Palace. If she wanted to make a move on them, they wouldn't be able to survive. At this moment, the Du family members finally realized the seriousness of the situation. They were in danger. At this moment, while the Du family members were panicking, Luo Yuan's face was as cold as ice as she looked at the Du family members. "You guys are that kid's helpers?" Luo Yuan's face was cold as she looked at the Du family members below. Her body emitted an intense, killing intent. At this moment, the Du family members were no different from dead people in Luo Yuan's eyes. She had been attacking the 7 stars killing array for so long, but she still hadn't been able to break it. Now that this group of people from the Du clan had arrived, it was just the right time to kill them to vent his anger. Senior, Please listen to our explanation. Feeling the chill coming from Luo Yuan's body, Du Wangchuan's expression began to twitch, as he said in horror, We also have a grudge with that brat. Senior, please do not fall into that brat's trap. For him to say this, he clearly wants to borrow a knife to kill someone. That's right, Senior. If you kill us, that brat will definitely rejoice in your misfortune. Senior, if you spare our lives, we can listen to your arrangements and deal with the people from the Azure Jade Manor together with you. Following Du Wangchuan's words, the other elders of the Du family immediately begged Luo Yuan for mercy. Right now, the Du family members were on the verge of tears. If they were killed by Luo Yuan, then their deaths would be too unjust. Elder Du, you all have done well. As long as you hold her back, there will be reinforcements coming immediately. At that time, everyone will deal with her together. At this moment, just as the Du family members were on the verge of tears, Mo Qingyun spoke to them again. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the faces of the Du family members immediately twitched. They wished they could curse Mo Qingyun, as they replied, Brat, don't try to slander us. We are not on the same side as you. We don't know you. After replying to Mo Qingyun, the Du family members began to beg Luo Yuan for mercy. Their expressions were even more painful than the death of their own father. However, Luo Yuan chose to ignore their pleas. Oof. A bunch of ants also wants to join forces with me. Luo Yuan snorted disdainfully. She looked at the Du family members with disdain and said coldly, Also, to me, it doesn't matter at all whether you are that brat's helpers or not. Since you all came here, then all of you must die. At this moment, to Luo Yuan, the most important thing was to use the lives of the Du family members to vent the anger in her heart. In addition, Luo Yuan was also considering that if she did not want others to know that she wanted to kill the people of the Bu mansion, then the Du family members must not be left alive. The funny thing was that the Du family members actually wanted to join forces with her. Wasn't this clearly asking her to confess without being pressed? It would be strange if she agreed to such a thing. Therefore, what she needed to do now was to kill them to vent her anger and silence them. After Luo Yuan finished speaking, she emitted a strong, killing intent. Her body moved, and she charged towards the Du family members. She raised her sword and slashed it down. Seeing Luo Yuan's actions, the Du family members' faces immediately twitched. They said in horror, Senior, let's talk nicely. Let's talk nicely. As long as you don't kill us, we'll do anything you want, to the disappointment of the Du family members. Luo Yuan's reply was only an ice-cold long sword and a sharp sword ray. Slash. Under Luo Yuan's attack, the Du family members were almost defenseless, and several of them were slaughtered in an instant. Seeing their family members being slaughtered in an instant, Du Wangchuan and the rest felt as if they had eaten a fly. It was extremely disgusting. They never thought that their domineering return to find trouble with Mo Qingyun and the rest would have such an outcome. The person who gave him a fatal blow was not Yu Qianni, who they feared, nor was it the people of the Bu mansion. Instead, it was a crazy woman of unknown origin. Such an outcome was too ironic. At this moment, the Du family members were filled with regret. They left perfectly fine, so why did they have to come back? Moments later, under Luo Yuan's crazy attack, the Du family members were all slaughtered. Only the second stage pill palace, Du Wangchuan, was left. Seeing his family members being slaughtered in the blink of an eye, Du Wangchuan's face was filled with pain. He roared, Mo family bastard, you will die a horrible death. Our Du family will not let you off, slash. Before Du Wangchuan could finish his words, his chest was pierced through by a sword. He fell from the sky with an unwilling expression. What a crazy woman. Trying to reason with a crazy woman who has been eating vinegar for more than 20 years. The Du family members are really idiots. This kind of dog-eat-dog scene is not easy to see. It's so satisfying and satisfying. Seeing Luo Yuan slaughtering the Du family members outside the array, the people of the Bu mansion were filled with joy. Of course, while they were happy, they also looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration. With just a few words, he was able to cause a dog-eat-dog fight between the Du family and Luo Yuan, causing the Du family members to be slaughtered. Mo Qingyun's move was 2F** King Ruthless. Now, it's your turn. After killing the Du family members, Luo Yuan returned to the sky above the Bu mansion and attacked the 7 stars killing array. Seeing Luo Yuan's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He said coldly, "Luo Yuan, do you really think that I can't do anything to you? Kid, do it if you can. I like to see what you can do to me." Luo Yuan's face was cold. After replying to Mo Qingyun, she attacked the array again. "Oof. When I break the array, I'll cut you into pieces." After hearing Luo Yuan's words, Mo Qingyun curled his lips and said coldly, "Since you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, then I won't hold back." Light Gate Martial Soul, appear. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he did not hesitate and summoned his Light Gate Martial Soul. "Seal Gate, seal for me." After summoning his Light Gate Martial Soul, Mo Qingyun executed his Martial Soul super skill and attacked Luo Yuan. Then, a mini light gate flew towards Luo Yuan at an extremely fast speed. Break! Facing Mo Qingyun's Martial Soul super skill, Luo Yuan's face darkened. She raised her hand and slashed at the mini light gate. However, the mini light gate was not damaged by her sword, and it flew into her body at an undiminished speed. Puff! After being hit by the seal gate, Luo Yuan immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and her face turned pale. At the same time, she immediately revealed a panicked expression. She realized that her cultivation was weakening. Such a scene was too strange for her. She had never seen such a method before. In a short while, her cultivation dropped to the 5th level of the Pill Palace. My cultivation is weakening. Also, my blood flow seems to have been sealed. After realizing this, Luo Yuan's heart was filled with panic. She became wary of Mo Qingyun. This brat, how did he know such a method? Mo Qingyun actually had such a method. It was really out of her expectations. At this moment, Luo Yuan's heart was hesitating. Should she continue to break the array and kill the Mo family members? She was worried that if she continued to break the array, Mo Qingyun might have other tricks up his sleeve. That would be troublesome. After thinking for a while, Luo Yuan's face was filled with unwillingness. She looked at Mo Qingyun with hatred and said, "Brat, I won't let this matter rest. When I come back in the future, I will definitely destroy all of you." Chapter 172. Did she leave? She should have left. Looking at Luo Yuan's figure gradually disappearing, everyone from the Azure Jade Manor felt as though they had just survived a calamity. Any power that was close to the Azure Jade Manor's strength would be terrified by the revenge of a crazy woman in the 6th stage of the Pill Palace. That woman went to the Black Moon Palace. It will take her about a year to return. Mo Qingyun frowned. After pondering for a while, he said in a deep voice, "So, we have to develop a strong force within a year." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others fell silent. Their expressions were heavy. They knew that once Luo Yuan returned, she would bring a large number of experts with her. At that time, with the power of the 7-star slaughtering array, it would be difficult to stop them. Everyone knew that with Luo Yuan's status, she would definitely be able to invite experts in the 7th or 8th stage of the Pill Palace. Even experts in the 9th stage of the Pill Palace were possible. In this way, it was self-evident how difficult it would be for Mo Qingyun and the others to develop a force that could contend with them within a year. A year is still too short. Du Luo sighed and said with a bitter expression, "Even if we have enough cultivation resources, it is impossible to improve to a level where we can fight against Luo Yuan within a year." Yeah. After hearing Du Luo's words, Wan Lianyun and the others also frowned and revealed bitter expressions. Mo Qingyun knew what Wan Lianyun and the others were thinking. He pondered for a while and said, "Teachers, City Lord Wan, is there any place in the Xia country that is extremely chaotic? It would be best if there were constant battles of life and death. Extremely chaotic place? A life and death battle is going on all the time. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others frowned and thought hard. Right, there's a place that is exactly the same as what you said. After thinking for a short while, Wan Lianyun and the others' eyes lit up. They had an answer in their hearts. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun quickly asked, "Where?" 100 countries battlefield. Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Wan Lianyun and the others all had solemn expressions as they replied in unison. 100 countries battlefield? Hearing Du Luo's answer, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, revealing a trace of doubt as he asked, "Where is this place?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled and confused expression, Wan Lianyun put on a solemn expression and said in a deep voice, "Mr. Mo, the 100 countries battlefield is a place in the Great Yin dynasty where the various countries compete in terms of strength. Every country will send their army in to fight." Wan Lianyun continued, "In the 100 countries battlefield, after each country's army kills another country's army, they can obtain battlefield points for their country and raise their country's ranking in the dynasty. Not only that, it's said that the 100 countries battlefield is an ancient ruin with many powerful legacies." Du Luo paused for a moment, then continued. "Therefore, in the 100 countries battlefield, other than the armies sent by the various countries, there are many people who enter to seek opportunities. Therefore, the 100 countries battlefield is definitely the most chaotic place in the Xia country and even the Great Yin dynasty. The 100 countries battlefield is divided into 3 battle zones: the True Energy Realm Battle Zone, the Yuan Dan Realm Battle Zone, and the Dan Palace Realm Battle Zone. People of different cultivation levels can only enter the battle zones of different strength." At this moment, Zhao Qi added, "So that's how it is." Hearing Wan Lianyun and the others' words, Mo Qingyun's eyes instantly lit up as he had a plan in his heart. At this moment, after hearing this, Qi Lian's face was filled with anticipation. The 100 countries battlefield was simply a perfect place for him to cultivate. After Mo Qingyun had a plan in his heart, he instructed Wan Lianyun and the others, "City Lord Wan, you all stay in the Azure Jade Mansion first. Qi Lian and I will settle some matters." "All right." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others nodded in agreement. Following this, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian left the Azure Jade Mansion. When Qi Lian and Mo Qingyun left the Azure Jade Mansion, their eyes instantly lit up. He was very clear about Mo Qingyun's thoughts. At this moment, Mo Qingyun brought him out of the Azure Jade Mansion to help him collect the corpses of the Du family members. To him, the corpses of the Du family members killed by Luo Yuan were miraculous elixirs for cultivation. He couldn't let them go to waste. Following this, under Mo Qingyun's powerful soul power perception, the corpses of the Du family members were quickly found by them. It was a pity that Luo Yuan's attacks were too ruthless. Some of the weaker cultivators' bodies were directly blasted into dust by her. In the end, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian only managed to find the corpses of Du Wangshuan and a few first realm elders of the Pill Palace. However, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian didn't mind this. With the corpses of Du Wangshuan and the others, it was enough. After collecting the corpses, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian returned to the Azure Jade Mansion. After returning to the Azure Jade Mansion, Qi Lian went into seclusion to refine the blood essence of the Du family members' corpses. As for Mo Qingyun, he naturally went into seclusion to continue refining elixirs. Just like this, time slowly passed. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. After 10 days of hard work, Mo Qingyun finally refined all the elixirs he had on him into elixirs. In total, he refined over 20 Tier 6 elixirs, over 400 Tier 5 elixirs, and thousands of Tier 4 and Tier 3 elixirs. As for the Tier 1 and Tier 2 elixirs, Mo Qingyun didn't bother refining them. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, these low-grade elixirs could be refined by the Alchemist Union. There was no need for him to waste his time refining them. Looking at the jade bottles filled with elixirs in front of him, Mo Qingyun revealed a satisfied smile. He believed that with the help of these elixirs, the Mo family and the people in the Azure Jade Mansion would definitely improve their cultivation by leaps and bounds. In addition, in these few days, Mo Qingyun also refined 5 yin-yang cultivation breakthrough elixirs. He planned to give them to Du Luo, Wan Lianyun, and the others. Then, Mo Qingyun put away all the elixirs, got up, and left the small courtyard. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the conference hall. At this moment, Mo Hong Tian and the others were in the conference hall. They seemed to be discussing something. Qingyun, you're here at the right time. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, everyone smiled faintly and greeted him. We're discussing how to deal with the Du family next. Deal with the Du family? After hearing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a trace of surprise. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Wan Lianyun's expression became a little excited. He said, 3 days ago, the Du family sent some people over and attacked the 7 Stars killing formation. However, in the process, we killed 2 half-step Pill Palace elders. We're discussing that if they come to break the formation again, we'll kill one of their elders. Oh, the Du family actually came again. Hearing Wan Lianyun and the others' words, Mo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression. He then smiled faintly and said, in my opinion, after this, they should be more restrained for a short period of time. After saying this, Mo Qingyun took out a Chinquin bag filled with elixirs and handed it to Mo Hong Tian, Du Luo, and Wan Lianyun. Qingyun, what's inside? Looking at the Chinquin bag handed over by Mo Qingyun, the few of them revealed a puzzled expression. Mo Qingyun replied, there are some elixirs inside. Later, you can distribute them to everyone so that they can use these elixirs to increase their cultivation. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wan Lianyun and the others opened the Chinquin bag to take a look. Hiss! With just one look, they sucked in a breath of cold air. There were too many elixirs, and they were all high-grade elixirs. Qingyun, these elixirs were refined by you? Looking at the elixirs in the Chinquin bag, Wan Lianyun and the others felt that it was unreal. Yes. After hearing this, Mo Qingyun nodded his head and took out a jade bottle. He said to Du Luo and the others, City Lord Wan, teacher, here are a few yin-yang breaking realm elixirs. Take them. When the time comes, they should be helpful for you to break through to the Pill Palace realm. Yin-yang breaking realm elixir. Hearing Mo Qingyun say that it was the yin-yang breaking realm elixir, Wan Lianyun and the others immediately revealed excited expressions. They did not stand on ceremony with Mo Qingyun and directly took the jade bottle. Chapter 173. After handing over the elixirs to Wan Lianyun and the rest, Mo Qingyun gave some instructions to the others before returning to his residence to cultivate. In the next few days, the Du family's actions were similar to what Mo Qingyun had expected. They restrained themselves and did not attempt to break the formation. With regards to this, Mo Qingyun had some peace and quiet as he immersed himself in his cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. At this moment, a powerful aura suddenly spread out within the Azure Jade Mansion. This was the aura of a second-stage Pill Palace. Qi Lian's cultivation has broken through to the second-stage Pill Palace. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up as he revealed a surprised expression. Qi Lian's breakthrough was good news for those who were about to enter the 100 countries battlefield. Immediately, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated as he stood up and left the small courtyard, heading towards Qi Lian's residence. However, what Mo Qingyun did not expect was that another powerful aura spread out within the Azure Jade Mansion. This was the aura of a Pill Palace realm. Within the Azure Jade Mansion, another person's cultivation had broken through to the Pill Palace realm. Sensing another powerful aura, Mo Qingyun's expression froze for a moment before he exclaimed in surprise, I didn't expect City Lord Wan's cultivation to have also broken through to the Pill Palace realm. Mo Qingyun was very happy to see Wan Lianyun's breakthrough. The higher Wan Lianyun's cultivation was, the stronger the 7-star killing formation's power would be. At that time, when he and Qi Lian went to the 100 Countries battlefield, he would be more at ease. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at Qi Lian's small courtyard. After waiting for a while, Qi Lian walked out of the room with an ecstatic expression. He smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun and said, "Young lord, now that this old servant cultivation has broken through to the second stage Pill Palace realm, let's attack together and get rid of those fellows outside the Azure Jade Mansion." When they heard Qi Lian's words, the expressions of everyone in the small courtyard were shocked. Their faces revealed anticipation as they looked at Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and said with a faint smile, "Don't worry about the Du family. They're just some small fries. There's no need to pay attention to them. What we really need to pay attention to is Luo Yuan." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone nodded their heads, expressing their agreement with Mo Qingyun's idea. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun continued, "Moreover, even if we kill the people of the Du family outside the Bu Manor, they will still send more people here. This isn't the solution to the root of the problem. What we need to do now is to think of a way to solve the problem once and for all. When the time comes, we will uproot the Du family completely." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone's expression changed again. They nodded in agreement with Mo Qingyun's suggestion. Qi Lian was curious and asked, "In the opinion of the young lord, now that your cultivation has broken through to the second level of the Pill Palace realm, it's time for you to head to the 100 Countries battlefield." Mo Qingyun revealed a look of anticipation and said in a deep voice, "When we return from the 100 Countries battlefield, it'll be time for us to uproot the Du family. Head to the 100 Countries battlefield." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian's eyes lit up instantly. He revealed a look of excitement and anticipation in his heart. As long as he reached the 100 Countries battlefield, his cultivation would definitely increase rapidly and his strength would quickly recover. Compared to Qi Lian's anticipation, the others at the side revealed a look of worry after hearing Mo Qingyun's words. To them, the 100 Countries battlefield was too chaotic and too dangerous. They were very worried that Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun would encounter all kinds of dangers when they entered. Then, Mo Hongtian revealed a look of worry and said, "Qingyun, I heard that the 100 Countries battlefield is extremely dangerous. Do you really want to head there?" "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded and said in a deep voice, "Many times, danger and opportunity coexist. As the saying goes, how can one catch a tiger cub without entering the tiger's den? To others, the 100 Countries battlefield might be a dangerous place, but to me, it might be a turning point that can change the current situation." But hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the others were still worried and wanted to persuade Mo Qingyun. However, before they could speak, Mo Qingyun interrupted them and said, "Everyone, don't worry. Qi Lian and I will definitely be careful when we enter the 100 Countries battlefield. Also, don't forget that I have many trump cards. Furthermore, Qi Lian's comprehension of the concept is extremely high. Those of the same level of cultivation are simply no match for him, so we will definitely be fine. Since that's the case, we won't persuade you anymore. However, you must be careful when you go." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Mo Hongtian and the others did not continue to persuade him and only reminded Mo Qingyun with concern. Next, Mo Qingyun chatted with the others for a while longer before bidding them farewell and leaving the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian. After bidding farewell to the others, Mo Qingyun did not immediately leave the Azure Jade Mansion. Instead, he went to the back mountain of the Azure Jade Mansion with Qi Lian and went to a more remote place. At this moment, Qi Lian frowned and said worriedly, "Young lord, there are many people from the Du family guarding outside the Azure Jade Mansion. If we go out like this, I'm afraid we will attract their attention. You don't have to worry about this. I have my ways." In response to Qi Lian's worries, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. After comforting Qi Lian, he took action. Teleportation gate, appear. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he unleashed the second martial soul super ability of the Light Gate martial soul, the teleportation gate. Following this, a whirlpool of Light Gate appeared before Mo Qingyun and Qilian. This is... Seeing the Light Gate martial soul in front of him, Qilian's expression changed, and he was shocked. With his experience, he could naturally tell that the whirlpool of Light Gate in front of him was a teleportation gate. To be able to carry a teleportation gate with one's own body was simply too terrifying. If Qilian knew that this was Mo Qingyun's martial soul super ability, what would he think? After realizing this, Qilian looked at Mo Qingyun with a different expression. There was a hint of respect in his eyes. Young Lord's true identity is definitely not simple. At this moment, Qilian was even more certain of his previous guess. At the same time, he became even more determined to follow Mo Qingyun. At this moment, Qilian had a feeling that if he followed Mo Qingyun, he might be able to surpass his previous peak and reach a higher level. Going. Looking at the stunned Qilian, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at him. Yes. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qilian did not hesitate and entered the whirlpool of Light Gate in a flash. After seeing Qilian enter, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and walked into the whirlpool of Light Gate. Whoosh! Following this, Qilian and Mo Qingyun's vision blurred, and they appeared in another place. Mo Qingyun was no stranger to this place. It was the place where he had previously honed his martial skills, the Black Gold Mountain. Let's go. Seeing that the two of them had arrived at the Black Gold Mountain, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate anymore. He instructed Qilian and stood up to walk forward. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qilian quickly followed and hurried along with Mo Qingyun towards the 100 Countries battlefield. Just like this, Mo Qingyun and Qilian hurried along their journey. After a few days, Mo Qingyun and Qilian arrived in front of a city. This city was the Spring Sun City that Mo Qingyun had passed by a few days ago when he entered the Burning Sky Sect ruins. Spring Sun City, I didn't expect to come here again. Looking at the Spring Sun City in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and revealed a playful smile. Chapter 174. Let's go in. After sizing up Spring Sun City, Mo Qingyun gestured to Qilian before he stood up and walked into the city. After Qilian heard this, he nodded and followed Mo Qingyun into Spring Sun City. Mo Qingyun couldn't help but feel a little emotional when he arrived in Spring Sun City once again. After walking around Spring Sun City for a while, a restaurant called Fragrant Restaurant attracted Mo Qingyun's attention. Let's go in and have a seat. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and walked into the Fragrant Pavilion. After entering Fragrant Restaurant, Mo Qingyun saw that the main hall was full and walked to the second floor. Arriving at the second floor of Fragrant Restaurant, Mo Qingyun and Qilian found a quiet place to sit down and casually ordered some food and wine. After a short while Mo Qingyun and Qilian were waiting for the food to be served, an old man and a young girl walked over. The two of them were dressed plainly. The old man held an arrow in his hand, and the young girl held a pipa in her arms. "Young master, can you order a song?" After the two of them arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, the young girl asked Mo Qingyun with a pleading look on her face. Knowing the purpose of their visit, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. This was the first time he had encountered a situation like ordering songs in a restaurant. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun smiled and said, "Then let's order one." "Thank you, young master." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the young girl's face lit up and she thanked Mo Qingyun. Then, the young girl and Qilian began to sing. The young girl's voice was not bad. Her singing was sweet and moving like the sound of nature. While the young girl was singing, Mo Qingyun and Qilian's food and wine were served. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun and Qilian began to eat. While listening to the song and eating the food, Mo Qingyun suddenly realized that this kind of feeling was quite pleasant. It seems that when I eat in the future, I should order a song. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and joked with Qi Lian. Hee. When Qi Lian heard this, he replied with a faint smile, "If the young lord likes them, this old servant can help the young lord arrange for some singers in the future. There's no need for such trouble." After Mo Qingyun heard this, he waved his hand and said, "For this kind of thing, it's best to have an unexpected encounter." Seeing Mo Qingyun say this, Qi Lian nodded, indicating that he understood Mo Qingyun's meaning and did not continue to speak. "You two come over here. Our young master wants some music too." At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and Li Qiye were enjoying themselves, a rude voice interrupted their mood. The person who spoke was a sturdy middle-aged man at a table next to Mo Qingyun and Li Qiye. In front of the sturdy middle-aged man sat a young man in luxurious clothes. He looked at the young girl with an evil smile. "Little beauty, this young master wants to order a song. Sing it for this young master immediately." The young man in luxurious clothes smiled evilly at the young girl. His eyes were filled with lust as he scanned the young girl's body. Seeing the young man in luxurious clothes' actions, the young girl's pretty face turned pale, revealing a trace of fear. She was too familiar with the scene in front of her. If nothing unexpected happened, this young man in luxurious clothes was definitely plotting against her. People like them who had no status and sang to earn a living were most afraid of this kind of hedonistic young master. If they were not careful, they would be played by this kind of hedonistic young master. At that time, they would lose their chastity and become shameless. While the young girl and Qi Lian were panicking, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and looked at the young man in luxurious clothes with some disgust. The originally pretty good atmosphere was instantly destroyed by the young man in luxurious clothes' actions. This made him feel somewhat displeased. While Mo Qingyun was feeling displeased, the old man secretly glanced at him and said to the young man in luxurious clothes, This young master, I'm sorry. This young master hasn't finished singing the song he ordered, so we can't sing it for you yet." After the old man finished speaking, he peeked at Mo Qingyun's expression and said to the young man in luxurious clothes, "After we finish singing for this young master, we'll sing for you. How about it?" Hearing the old man's words, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and looked at the old man with a cold gaze. The old man's answer seemed to be nothing, but if one carefully thought about it, they would discover that he was trying to divert the trouble away. The old man's action was to divert the young man's attention to Mo Qingyun and draw hatred to Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun wasn't strong enough and the young man's hatred was provoked, it would definitely be a very troublesome matter. Most importantly, Mo Qingyun didn't like being used like this. It felt like he was being used as a tool. Immediately, Mo Qingyun's face darkened and he said to the old man, "Go sing for them. Just let her stay." As Mo Qingyun spoke, he raised his hand and pointed at the young girl, indicating that the old man should go sing for the young man in luxurious clothes and let the young girl stay. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the old man's face immediately became bitter and he replied to Mo Qingyun, "Young master, you can't do that. There's no such way of singing. Is that so?" Mo Qingyun smiled playfully and said indifferently, "If that's the case, then continue singing for me." Seeing that Mo Qingyun wanted the two of them to continue singing, the old man's face immediately became bitter. He didn't know how to respond, and he looked at the young man in luxurious clothes. His action was undoubtedly hinting to the young man in luxurious clothes that it wasn't that he didn't want to sing for him, but that Mo Qingyun didn't want him to, and he had no choice. Seeing the old man's action, Mo Qingyun's face became even more unsightly. This old man was really too worldly. He was constantly thinking of using someone else to do his dirty work. At this moment, Mo Qingyun already had a trace of killing intent towards him. At this moment, just as the old man was in a difficult position, the young girl suddenly mustered her courage and said to the young man in luxurious clothes, "Young master, I don't know how to sing the song you ordered. Also, if you want to listen to the song, please wait until we finish singing for this young master. Xiaoya, shut up." Hearing the young girl's words, The old man's expression immediately changed, and he became frightened as he interrupted the young girl. Seeing the old man interrupt her, the young girl's face became stubborn, and she said angrily, "Grandfather, you've always taught me to be upright and have principles. How can you be like this now? You're clearly, you." Hearing the young girl's words, the old man's face immediately darkened. He interrupted the young girl and was about to scold her. Oof. However, before the old man could speak, Qingyun's face darkened, and he interrupted the old man with a cold snort. "Old man, it's better to have some principles as a person. Also, don't treat others as fools. If you want to use others as a shield, you should first think about whether you can handle the revenge if you're found out. Because of your granddaughter, I'll spare your life today." Hearing Qingyun's words, the old man's face immediately paled and cold sweat poured down his forehead. He knelt before Qingyun and thanked him. Thank you, young master, for sparing my life. I won't dare to do it again." Seeing the old man's actions, Qingyun didn't bicker with him. He smiled faintly at the young girl and said, "You can continue. Ignore the others." When Qingyun spoke, he didn't even look at the well-dressed young man, as if he didn't exist. Seeing that Qingyun ignored him, the well-dressed young man's face immediately darkened, and he said angrily, "Brat, you probably don't understand the situation. You want to steal from me? Are you sure your head is sturdy?" Hearing the well-dressed young man's words, Qingyun's eyes narrowed. He looked at the well-dressed young man and said coldly, "Are you sure your head is sturdy when you talk to me like that? Yoho, today's news is really fresh." Hearing Qingyun's words, the well-dressed young man was stunned at first. Then, he revealed a disdainful smile and arrogantly said, "Brat, you're not from here, right? Do you know who I am? I'm the young master of the Zhou family of Spring Sun City, Zhou Honghu. Do you know the consequences of offending me? I don't." Chapter 175. Kid, I don't mind telling you that in Spring Sun City, anyone who dares to talk back to me will end up in a miserable state. Zhou Honghu raised his head with an arrogant expression and said to Qingyun haughtily, "If you make this young master unhappy, I have 100 ways to make you unable to stay in Spring Sun City. Is that so?" Qingyun's smile widened as he looked at the arrogant Zhou Honghu, as if he was a monkey. Qingyun wasn't the only one. Qilian also had a mocking smile on his face, as if he was looking at Monkey. They had come to Spring Sun City to solve some problems from before. Who would have thought that before they could find the other party would come knocking on their door? Oomph. Kid, it's too late for you to realize this now. Hearing Qingyun's words, Zhou Honghu thought that Qingyun was afraid. His expression became even more arrogant as he said, "Seeing that you're a foreigner and you're innocent because you don't know, this young master will show mercy today. As long as you kneel down now and kowtow to this young master and admit your mistake, this young master will spare your life." After Zhou Honghu finished speaking, he picked up a stool and sat on it with his legs crossed, waiting for Qingyun to kowtow to him. There is no need to mention how arrogant he was. However, just as Zhou Honghu was waiting for Qingyun to admit his mistake, a terrifying aura came crashing down on him. Bang! Under the crushing pressure of this aura, Zhou Honghu was directly crushed to the ground and ate a few mouthfuls of dust. The person who released this aura was naturally Qilian. However, under Qingyun's instructions, he didn't use too much strength. Pay. Zhou Honghu spat out a mouthful of saliva as he looked at Qingyun and Qilian in horror. He no longer had the arrogance from before. He was sure that Qingyun and Qilian in front of him were at least mid-level Yuan Dan realm experts. Even if he was a direct descendant of the Zhou clan, he couldn't easily offend such people, because with his status in the Zhou clan would not offend a mid-level Yuan Dan realm expert for him. When he thought of this, Zhou Honghu's face was filled with terror as he begged Qingyun and the other man, "Say, Senior, this junior has eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please be magnanimous and spare my lowly life." Seeing Zhou Honghu's actions, Qingyun smiled faintly and asked Zhou Honghu, "Didn't you just ask me to kneel down in front of you?" "No, no, this is all a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding." After Zhou Honghu heard this, he immediately knelt down in front of Mo Qingyun. He shook his head like a rattle drum and waved his hands to deny it. "I see." Mo Qingyun smiled playfully. After glancing at Zhou Honghu, he said faintly, "Speaking of which, I have some connections with your Zhou family." "Does your Zhou family have someone called Zhou Tao?" Zhou Tao. When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Honghu's eyes lit up. His face was filled with joy as he said, "Senior, it's great that you know Big Brother Zhou Tao. Big Brother Zhou Tao is the genius of the Zhou family." At this moment, Zhou Honghu seemed to have forgotten his fear as he waved his hands and excitedly said to Mo Qingyun, "Senior, why don't you come with me to the Zhou family? When the time comes, I will let Big Brother Zhou Tao personally receive you. I believe that if Big Brother Zhou Tao knows that Senior is coming, he will be very happy." "He will be very happy?" When they heard Zhou Honghu's words, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's expressions immediately changed and became a little strange. They didn't know if the Zhou family would be happy to see them, but they would definitely be shocked and surprised. After pondering for a while, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded, "Lead the way." "Yes." When he saw Mo Qingyun nod his head, Zhou Honghu's face immediately became wild with joy. He thought to himself, "I've hit the jackpot this time. I didn't expect to meet a mid-level Yuan Dan expert just by coming to the hotel. If I can pull him into the Zhou family, my status in the Zhou family will definitely skyrocket. Ha! Zhou Honghu will finally be able to turn over a new leaf. That young man, he actually has a mid-level Yuan Dan expert as his servant. That's amazing. Yeah, even the young master of the Zhou family is like a slave in front of him. That young man is so handsome. If he is willing to look at me, even if I have to be his concubine, I will be satisfied. Look at you? Why don't you look at me? At least my figure is tall and fair enough." For a moment, everyone in the hotel sighed with emotion. At this moment, when everyone looked at Mo Qingyun in awe, Mo Qingyun took out a chinquin bag and threw it to the young girl. "I like the little song you sang." Thank you." Being stared at by Mo Qingyun, the young girl suddenly became reserved and shy. Her face blushed with gratitude. Looking at the young girl's nervous face, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He couldn't help but compare her to Mo Xiao. After that, Mo Qingyun shook his head, stood up, and walked downstairs. Wait. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was about to go downstairs, the young girl suddenly called out to him. "Is there anything else?" Mo Qingyun asked the young girl curiously. May I know your name?" The young girl's face was flushed. Her voice was a little nervous as she looked at Mo Qingyun expectantly. "My name is Mo Qingyun." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to the young girl. With that, Mo Qingyun walked downstairs, leaving the young girl with a back as firm as a sword. Mo Qingyun. After hearing Mo Qingyun's name, the young girl's face was filled with admiration. She held the chinquin bag tightly in her hand and bit her lips as if she wanted to remember this name forever. "Xiaoya, let's go." Seeing Mo Qingyun walk away, the old man shouted to the young girl and pulled her out of the hotel. After a while, the two of them arrived at a secluded area outside of the hotel. At this moment, the young girl opened the chinquin bag and found that it was filled with gold coins. There were at least a few 100,000 gold coins. So much money. Looking at the gold coins, the young girl was stunned. This was the first time she had seen so much money. Then, the young girl exclaimed in surprise, "Grandpa, with this money, we don't have to sing anymore." "That's right." At this moment, the old man's face was filled with excitement. He couldn't help but feel ashamed and exclaimed, "Xiaoya, Grandpa was wrong. We need to have principles. This time, if you didn't insist, I'm afraid." The old man knew very well that if Xiaoya didn't speak up and change Mo Qingyun's opinion of them, they might have fallen into Zhou Honghu's hands. When that time comes, they can only imagine their fate. Grandpa, there are also martial arts techniques in Dawn. There's so many Dawn. Just as the old man was exclaiming, the young girl's face was filled with joy. She took out many martial arts techniques from the Chinquin bag. It seems like that Lord has a good impression of you. The old man was once again filled with excitement and exclaimed, Xiaoya, if you practice these martial arts techniques and use these Dawn to increase your cultivation, you won't have to sing anymore. Perhaps we will have a chance to kill our enemies. Yes. Hearing the old man's words, the young girl's face was filled with determination. She said in a low voice, Grandpa, I will train hard so that I can kill my enemies. Hearing the young girl's words, the old man's face was filled with relief. He nodded and said, Xiaoya, let's go back. Yes. Chapter 176. Senior, the Zhou family is in front. An hour later, Zhou Honghu smiled apologetically and pointed at the magnificent mansion in front of them. Mo Qingyan nodded in response and walked into the Zhou family with Zhou Honghu. Quickly inform young Master Zhou Tao that the two seniors are looking for him. As soon as they arrived at the Zhou family, Zhou Honghu instructed a servant behind him to inform Zhou Tao. After instructing the servant, Zhou Honghu looked at Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao and smiled apologetically. Senior, please follow me. Soon, Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao arrived at an elegant courtyard under Zhou Honghu's guidance and waited for Zhou Tao's arrival. While waiting, Zhou Honghu instructed the servants to serve Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao good wine and dishes. After doing all this, Zhou Honghu stood to the side with a respectful expression, waiting for Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao's orders. Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao did not say much about Zhou Honghu's actions, only revealing a strange smile. At this moment, Mo Qingyan was thinking that when the Zhou family saw this, their expressions would be very rich. Zhou family, Zhou Tao's residence. At this moment, as Mo Qingyan and Zhou Tao were enjoying good wine and dishes, a strong fluctuation of energy came from Zhou Tao's room. This was the fluctuation of energy when one's cultivation broke through to the true energy realm. Zhou Tao's cultivation was about to break through to the true energy realm. As soon as this fluctuation of energy appeared, several figures immediately came to Zhou Tao's courtyard. These figures were all Yuan Dan realm elders of the Zhou family. It seemed that they valued Zhou Tao very much. Tower is really good, as expected of the genius of our Zhou family. He's not even 20 years old, but his cultivation has already broken through to the true energy realm. Yes, if the other little brats can have half of Tao Er's growth, then we'll have less to worry about. More than less, I'll be so happy that I won't be able to close my mouth. For a moment, the Zhou family elders were all amazed. A moment later, under everyone's waiting, Zhou Tao walked out of the room with an excited expression. True energy boundary. His cultivation had finally broken through to the true energy boundary. Breaking through from the true energy realm to the true element realm, Zhou Tao immediately felt that his strength had increased by more than a few times. At this moment, Zhou Tao almost had the feeling of being alone and seeking defeat. Zhou Tao greets the elders. Zhou Tao walked out of the house and saw many elders in the small courtyard. He immediately bowed respectfully. Seeing Zhou Tao's humble actions, all the elders revealed gratified and satisfied smiles as they encouraged and praised Zhou Tao. Under the encouragement and praise of the elders, Zhou Tao unconsciously revealed a trace of pride, and his heart began to float. At this time, while the elders were praising Zhou Tao, a servant with an anxious expression ran into the small courtyard. Seeing the servant rushing in recklessly, Zhou Tao's face showed displeasure. He said to the servant coldly, "What are you doing in such a panic? What's going on?" While Zhou Tao was speaking, the few elders by the side also had a displeased look on their faces when they saw the situation. Seeing the expressions of Zhou Tao and the others, the servant's face immediately twitched. He said in horror, "Young Master Zhou Tao, young Master Honghu asked me to pass a message to you." He said that 2 Yuan Dan realm elders have come to the Zhou family to look for you. He is now in the West Wing Pavilion and wants you to go there immediately. 2 Yuan Dan realm elders are looking for me? Hearing the servant's message, Zhou Tao's face showed confusion. He felt somewhat puzzled. In his memory, he didn't seem to know any Yuan Dan realm experts. At this moment, while Zhou Tao was puzzled, one of the elders beside him said with a serious face, whether you know them or not, they are Yuan Dan realm experts after all. We must pay attention to them. Another elder urged, that's right. Since they are looking for you, they must have crossed paths with you before. Go and take a look immediately. Yes. Hearing the elder's words, Zhou Tao nodded and said, in that case, I will go first. Hearing Zhou Tao's words, all the elders nodded and agreed with Zhou Tao's action. However, just as Zhou Tao was about to leave the small courtyard, one of the elders suddenly said, everyone, 2 Yuan Dan realm experts have come to our residence. We can't neglect them. Since we already know, let's go and take a look with Tao. That's right. If we can recruit them to our Zhou family, our Zhou family strength will definitely increase greatly. As soon as the elder finished speaking, some of the elders immediately nodded in agreement. Then, the elders followed Zhou Tao and rushed to the West Wing Pavilion. Moments later, the group arrived at the West Wing Pavilion. Seeing the group arrive at the West Wing Pavilion, Zhou Honghu, who had been waiting not far from Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao, was pleasantly surprised and greeted the group. Honghu greets the elders and cousin Zhou Tao. Zhou Honghu arrived in front of Zhou Tao and the others. With a respectful expression, he bowed to everyone. No need to be so courteous. Bring us to meet the 2 guests first. In response to Zhou Honghu's greeting, one of the elders waved his hand and hurried to Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao. Yes. Hearing this, Zhou Honghu did not dare to hesitate and immediately led the group to Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao. However, when the group approached and saw Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao, some of their faces turned ugly. They really did not expect that the 2 people in front of them were the 2 madmen who had killed many of their Zhou family members. What was even more unacceptable was that Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao were swaggering in the Zhou family's pavilion and eating and drinking. This behavior was simply looking down on the Zhou family. It's you. Some of the elders who recognized Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao immediately became gloomy and scolded Mo Qingyun and Zhou Tao. Seeing this scene, Zhou Honghu was puzzled and asked, Elder Bai Qing, do you know these 2 seniors? Know them? After hearing this, a cold smile appeared on Zhou Bai Qing's face, and he said, of course we know them. Even if these 2 people turn into ashes, we would still recognize them. Hearing Zhou Bai Qing's words, Zhou Honghu was even more puzzled. He faintly felt that the atmosphere in front of him was not right. It was a little different from what he had imagined. At this moment, while Zhou Honghu was puzzled, an elder beside him smiled proudly and praised him. Honghu, you did well this time. You brought the 2 of them into the family and stabilized them so that we had a chance to deal with them. Did well. Hearing this elder's words, Zhou Honghu was stunned again, and he was even more puzzled. However, although he was puzzled, Zhou Honghu still showed a humble expression and replied, thank you for the praise, Elder Boss Han. This is what Honghu should do. Seeing Zhou Honghu's attitude, Zhou Boss Han nodded in satisfaction and waved his hand at him. There's nothing for you to do here. You can leave first. Yes. Zhou Honghu nodded in response and retreated to the back. However, he did not go too far. Instead, he walked to the side and stopped, silently watching the situation in front of him. He wanted to understand the relationship between Mo Qingyun and the other elders. At this moment, when Zhou Honghu retreated to the side, Zhou Tao revealed a cold smile. He looked at Mo Qingyun and sneered. Mo Qingyun, you didn't expect this, did you? Honghu is also a member of my Zhou clan. You actually came to my Zhou clan. This time, we'll make it impossible for you to escape. Impossible to escape? After hearing this, Mo Qingyun revealed a playful smile and said, Zhou Tao, you think too much. Your small Zhou family can't stop us. Shameless boasting. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Bashan's face darkened, and he said coldly, "Kid, I want to see how you will leave today." Fierce-fanged underworld wolf. As soon as Zhou Bashan finished speaking, he raised his hand to grab Mo Qingyan. With this grab, he looked like a hungry wild wolf. At this moment, the surging Yuan power on his body had transformed into a Yuan power wolf shadow, causing the power of his attack to instantly increase by several notches. Umph! Seeing Zhou Bashan attack Mo Qingyun, Qi Lian's face darkened. He snorted coldly and raised his hand to slap Zhou Bashan. Bang! Then, everyone saw that under Qi Lian's slap, the imposing Zhou Bashan was forcefully slammed into the ground. His body could not move for a long time. It looked like he had been crippled by Qi Lian's attack and had lost the ability to fight. Elder Bashan, seeing Zhou Bashan being slammed into the ground by Qi Lian's casual slap, everyone's expression changed and fear rose in their hearts. Zhou Bashan's cultivation was at the first level of Yuan Dan realm. If Qi Lian could cripple him so easily, he had to be at least at the intermediate level of Yuan Dan realm. At least at the intermediate level of Yuan Dan realm. After realizing this, everyone's hearts skipped a beat. They were surprised by Qi Lian's strength. However, although they were surprised by Qi Lian's strength, they did not panic. Although the intermediate level of Yuan Dan realm was strong, it was not to the extent that he could behave atrociously in the Zhou family. After being stunned for a short while, Zhou Baiqing's face darkened. He looked at Qi Lian and said coldly, "I'm very surprised that your cultivation has increased to the intermediate level of Yuan Dan realm. However, if you think that you can behave atrociously in the Zhou family with this, you are wrong." This Zhou Baiqing was also someone who had some interactions with Qi Lian outside the Burning Sky Sex ruins. "Let's attack together." After Zhou Baiqing finished speaking, he signaled to the people behind him. Then, he moved and raised his hand to slap Qi Lian. When Zhou Baiqing made his move, the other elders behind him also made their moves. Cloud-piercing palm, star-killing fist, holy light ghost hand. In an instant, all kinds of fist radiance and palm shadows whizzed toward Qi Lian. "You are courting death." Seeing the people attacking, Qi Lian snorted coldly and raised his hand to slap them. Then, a terrifying aura exuded from Qi Lian's body. At the same time, a huge origin energy palm shadow condensed in the air above the people and pressed down on them. Bang! Under the pressure of the palm shadow, the elders of the Zhou family were slammed to the ground. In one move, 7 to 8 Yuan Dan realm elders were slammed to the ground and could not move for a long time. What kind of strength was this? At this moment, everyone at the side was dumbfounded. At this moment, the strength that Qi Lian displayed had completely exceeded their understanding. Chapter 177. Advanced Stage Yuan Dan. Qi Lian's cultivation was definitely at the advanced stage of Yuan Dan. Only someone who had reached this level could easily crush the intermediate stage of Yuan Dan and the lower stage of Yuan Dan. You've reached the advanced stage of Yuan Dan? Seeing Qi Lian's strength, Zhou Baiqing's face turned pale. He looked at Qi Lian in horror. He truly never imagined that when Qi Lian fought them a few months ago, he was only at the first level of the Origin Core stage. In just a few months, Qi Lian's cultivation had risen from the first stage of Yuan Dan to the advanced stage of Yuan Dan. This kind of cultivation speed was a little too terrifying, wasn't it? Advanced stage of Yuan Dan. As soon as Zhou Baiqing said this, everyone's face twitched. They were stunned again. The red-haired old man beside Mo Qingyun was an elite at this level. He was comparable to the Zhou family's patriarch. Compared to the shock of the others, Zhou Honghu was the most panicked person. When he thought of how several Yuan Dan stage elders had all been turned into cripples, because of him, Zhou Honghu instantly had the thought of killing himself. This advanced stage of Yuan Dan. That red-haired old man is at the advanced stage of Yuan Dan. Hearing this, Zhou Honghu took a deep breath. He felt the urge to urinate. He said in a panic, F*CK, F*CK, F*CK. F***, F***, I'm finished. I can't believe I brought these two monsters to the family. I think I'm not a salted fish turning over a new leaf. I'm going to become a dead fish. At this moment, Zhou Honghu was panicking. Oof, you're too presumptuous. A cold voice came from the underground of the Zhou family. It seemed that the person who spoke was an old man of the Zhou family who was cultivating in the underground secret room. Soon, an old man with a stooped body appeared in front of everyone. Patriarch! After seeing this figure, everyone in the Zhou clan was overjoyed and bowed respectfully. At this moment, as the people of the Zhou family bowed to the old man, several more old figures appeared and arrived behind the Zhou family's ancestor. The auras of these people were extremely powerful. Each of them was close to the high-level Yuan Dan realm. It seemed that they were all old antiques of the Zhou clan who were hiding in the dark and focused on cultivation. Now that they saw that the Zhou clan situation was not good, they could not hold it in any longer. One after another, they came out of seclusion to deal with Mo Qingyun. In fact, before these people came out, Mo Qingyun had already released his soul force and sensed their existence. Impudent, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile after seeing all of the old geezers of the Zhou clan. He looked at them and laughed. All of these old bastards are finally willing to come out? That's good too. It saves me the trouble of looking for them one by one. Arrogant brat, you're courting death. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, an old man with a 5th-level Yuan Dan realm cultivation beside the Zhou family's ancestor could not hold back his anger. His face darkened as he threw a palm strike at Mo Qingyun. Holy light, ghost palm, the old man threw a palm strike. Instantly, a terrifying amount of origin energy exploded from his palm, and a bright light appeared. At the same time, the surging origin energy formed a ghost face palm shadow that crushed towards Mo Qingyun. However, Mo Qingyun's face was calm as he faced this palm strike. It was as if he did not care at all. However, at this moment, Qi Lian, who was beside Mo Qingyun, snorted coldly. Humph. I think the one who is courting death is more likely to be you. As soon as Qi Lian finished speaking, he raised his hand and threw a palm strike at the old man. His aura was even more terrifying than Qi Lian's. Under Qi Lian's hand, an enormous origin energy palm image instantly condensed and formed with extreme speed, bombarding towards that person. Bang! In the face of Qi Lian's palm strike, the old man could not even resist. He was sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. Puffed. After being hit by Qi Lian's powerful palm strike, the old man spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was extremely pale. Seeing this, the Zhou family's ancestor's face immediately darkened. He said coldly, "Sir, you've gone too far. Do you really think that just because you have a high-level Yuan Dan cultivation, you can do whatever you want in the Zhou family? If you don't like it, feel free to attack this old man." In the face of the Zhou family's ancestors' cold words, Qi Lian looked at him disdainfully and replied indifferently, "Oof. Since that's the case, let this old man deal with you." As soon as the Zhou family's ancestor finished speaking, he moved and threw a palm strike at Qi Lian. At the same time, he said to the elders behind him, "Don't just stand there. Kill that brat first." Yes, clan uncle, clan elder. Hearing the Zhou family's ancestors' words, the people behind him immediately nodded in response. You think I'm a pushover? Seeing the Zhou family's actions, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up. He revealed a playful smile and said faintly, "Since that's the case, I'll play with you." The Zhou family didn't know what Mo Qingyun was thinking. At this moment, when they saw Mo Qingyun smile, they all sneered and said coldly, "Brat, you're still in a mood to smile at this time. Are you scared silly? Scared silly?" The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth twitched, and he replied with disdain, "With just you guys. Door of the seal, release." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he released the seal of the Pill Palace. It was rare for him to continue talking nonsense with the Zhou family. Then, the aura on Mo Qingyun's body immediately rose. In the blink of an eye, it reached the peak of the Yuan Dan realm. Under Mo Qingyun's powerful aura, the Zhou family's elders who were attacking him were immediately forced back. Each of them had an incomparably shocked expression. Peak of the Yuan Dan realm. The young man in front of them who looked like he was 17 or 18 years old was actually an expert at the peak of the Yuan Dan realm. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they wouldn't be able to accept it even if they were beaten to death. Peak of the Yuan Dan realm. How is this possible? How can this brat be at the peak of the Yuan Dan realm at such a young age? It must be an illusion. At this moment, the hearts of the Zhou family's elders were filled with raging waves. They couldn't accept this fact. While the Zhou family's elders were still in shock, Zhou Tao felt the powerful aura on Mo Qingyun's body. He immediately widened his eyes and also couldn't believe this was real. A few months ago, Mo Qingyun's cultivation was lower than his. In just a few months, Mo Qingyun actually reached the peak of the Yuan Dan realm. This kind of thing was too strange and too frightening for him. If this was true, what kind of cultivation speed did Mo Qingyun have? How can this be? How can his cultivation increase so quickly? When he saw Mo Qingyun's cultivation speed and compared it to his own cultivation speed, Zhou Tao immediately felt a heavy blow. Compared to Mo Qingyun, his cultivation speed was like a snail. Boom! At this moment, before the Zhou family could recover from the shock of seeing Mo Qingyun's cultivation, an even more terrifying aura exploded from the side. Bang! Under the suppression of this aura, Zhou family's old ancestor couldn't even resist and was sent flying. Puff! Zhou family's old ancestor fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face twitched as he looked at Qi Lian with eyes full of fear. Dan Palace. You're an expert of the Dan Palace realm. Dan Palace. The red-haired elder in front of him was actually an expert of the Dan Palace realm. He wasn't an expert of the Yuan Dan realm as he thought. Their Zhou family had actually offended an expert of the Dan Palace realm. More importantly, he actually acted cool in front of the other party and said that he wanted to meet the other party. This was simply courting death. Thinking of this, Zhou family's old ancestor felt bitter in his heart. It was as disgusting as eating 10,000 flies. At this moment, Zhou Baiqing and the others felt as depressed as Zhou family's old ancestor. They didn't know how to describe it. Just a moment ago, they actually threatened an expert of the Dan Palace realm, saying that he wouldn't be able to escape today. With their strength, would they be able to stop an expert of the Dan Palace realm? This was simply a joke. Chapter 178. Dan Palace. After knowing Qi Lian's cultivation, Zhou Honghu was so frightened that his legs trembled. A warm current flowed out from his crotch. He was so frightened that he peed his pants. However, at this moment, Zhou Honghu did not feel the wetness in his lower body at all. With a look of horror, he said, This is completely over. I brought these two monsters to the family, causing the elders and ancestors to be injured by them. I'm not a salted fish trying to turn over a new leaf, but a salted fish turning into dried fish oil. After thinking about this, Zhou Honghu's entire body went limp on the ground. His mind was completely blank. At this moment, he could already imagine what would happen to him. At this moment, everyone in the Zhou family was terrified, and bitter. Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He looked at the crazed Zhou Tao and asked, Now, do you still want to say that we can't escape today? Being asked by Mo Qingyun, Zhou Tao was instantly at a loss for words. He didn't know how to answer. However, after being stunned for a moment, Zhou Tao's face was filled with anger. He turned to look at Zhou Honghu and roared, Zhou Honghu, this is all your fault. Hearing Zhou Tao's angry words, Zhou Honghu's expression suddenly twitched. He came back to his senses and said in alarm, Cousin Zhou Tao, this can't be blamed on me. I also didn't know their identities. Besides, just now, Elder Boss Han, he even praised me for doing beautifully. Hearing Zhou Honghu's words, everyone in the Zhou family's expression immediately turned ugly. They all glared at Zhou Honghu. Seeing everyone's angry gazes, Zhou Honghu immediately shut his mouth and didn't dare to speak carelessly. At this moment, while everyone in the Zhou family was looking at Zhou Honghu with hatred, Zhou family's ancestor had a pleading expression. He pleaded to Mo Qingyun, say, "Senior, our Zhou family had eyes but didn't recognize Mount Tai. Senior, please be magnanimous and let us off this time. Give us a chance to make up for this." A chance to make up for this? Hearing Zhou family's ancestor's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and said, "Weren't all of you very impressive just now? Besides, there's no such thing as begging for mercy just because you can't beat someone." Mo Qingyun was very clear in his heart. At this moment, if he and Qilian were no match for them, with the personality of the Zhou family, they would definitely not let them off. Hence, Mo Qingyun revealed an impatient expression after glancing mockingly at forefather Zhou. He instructed Qilian, "Quickly finish them off. I will wait for you outside." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body moved and he walked out of the Zhou family. After receiving Mo Qingyun's instructions, Qilian revealed a cruel smile. He looked at the Zhou clan and said, "Since the young lord has given the order, let this old man send you on your way." After Qilian spoke, he did not hesitate to raise his hand and attack the crowd. His attack was extremely decisive and ruthless. Facing Qilian, an expert at the second level of the Pill Palace, the Zhou clan, whose strongest cultivation base was only at the Yuan Dan realm, had no way of resisting. They were all slaughtered by Qilian. About 2 hours later, "Young lord, everything has been taken care of." Qilian came to Mo Qingyun's side and reported to Mo Qingyun, "Good, let's go to the Galaxy Master Sect." After hearing Qilian's report, Mo Qingyun nodded his head in satisfaction. He stood up and walked towards the Galaxy Master Sect. When he saw Mo Qingyun walking forward, Qilian did not say anything. He responded and followed behind Mo Qingyun. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Qilian arrived outside the Galaxy Master Sect. After arriving at the Galaxy Master Sect, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time talking to the people of the Galaxy Master Sect. He immediately ordered Qilian to attack and exterminate them. Under Qilian's attack, the Galaxy Master Sect was not spared. They were immediately massacred. About 4 hours later, everyone in the Galaxy Master Sect followed in the footsteps of the Zhou clan. Because of this, the Galaxy Master Sect was exterminated. Let's go. Let's continue our journey. After exterminating the Galaxy Master Sect, Mo Qingyun instructed Qilian. Then, he stood up and continued on his journey to the 100 Countries battlefield. A day after Mo Qingyun and Qilian left, the news of the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect's extermination spread throughout Spring Sun City. The Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect were two of the 3 major forces in Spring Sun City. However, they had been exterminated in a single day. When this news spread, the entire Spring Sun City was in an uproar. Do you guys think that the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect have offended a terrifying force? Of course. Otherwise, given the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect's strength, who could have exterminated them without a sound? The force that exterminated the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect is definitely not simple. Could it be one of the 3 major families of the Great Xia Nation? It's not impossible. However, based on what happened to the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect, it's better to keep a low profile in the future. That's right. There's always someone better out there. It's not good to be too arrogant. All of a sudden, everyone in Spring Sun City lamented the extermination of the Galaxy Master Sect and the Zhou clan. In a simple hut in Spring Sun City, an old man and a young girl were equally shocked when they heard the news of the Zhou clan's extermination. "Grandpa, do you think that the Zhou clan's extermination has something to do with young Master Mo Qingyun?" The young girl asked the old man excitedly. "I don't think it's Mr. Mo's doing." The old man pondered for a moment before he said, "Although young Master Mo and his companion are not weak, I don't think they have the power to destroy the Zhou family. Moreover, the Galaxy Master Sect, which is not weaker than the Zhou family, was one of the forces that were destroyed." Oh, when she heard the old man's words, The young girl pursed her lips and looked expectant. She thought to herself, could it be you? In Spring Sun City, everyone was guessing the real reason behind the Zhou clan and the Galaxy Master Sect's extermination. As the culprits, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were unaware of the commotion caused by their actions. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. In a mountain forest, a red-haired old man stood beside a 17 or 18-year-old boy with a serious expression. At that moment, the boy's aura was rapidly increasing. In the blink of an eye, the boy's aura had reached its peak. Sensing the change in the boy's aura, the red-haired old man's expression changed slightly. He was pleasantly surprised and said, "The young lord's cultivation is about to break through." Just as the old man was muttering to himself, the aura of the young man, not far from him, suddenly surged again. The boy's cultivation had broken through. Second stage of the true energy realm. The young man, who had been cultivating with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes with a joyful expression. This boy was naturally Mo Qingyun, who had left Spring Sun City. After this period of cultivation, his cultivation had finally improved from the first stage of the true energy realm to the second stage of the true energy realm. This way, he would have more protection when he entered the 100 countries battlefield. After breaking through, Mo Qingyun continued to cultivate for a while to stabilize his cultivation. After an hour, Mo Qingyun stopped cultivating and stood up. He said to Qi Lian, who was beside him, "Let's continue our journey." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he moved and took the lead to walk forward. Seeing Mo Qingyun moving forward, Qi Lian did not hesitate and hurriedly followed. Just like that, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian began to madly rush on their journey. 5 days later, a huge city vaguely appeared in Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's line of sight. In front of the city, there was a huge city gate plate with the words "Border City" written on it. Border City. Seeing the words on the city gate, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. After nearly 20 days of rushing, they finally arrived at the entrance of the 100 countries battlefield, Border City. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun and the other man no longer hesitated. They rushed towards the Border City like a gust of wind. Help, help! At this moment, when Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were rushing to Border City, a woman's cry for help entered their ears. After this cry for help, a woman in tattered and ragged clothes appeared in front of them. "Beauty, you can't escape." Behind this woman, there were a few burly men who chased after her with hideous smiles on their faces. Hearing the words of the people behind her, the woman's expression immediately became more panicked. After this woman saw Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian, she immediately revealed a surprised expression and quickly ran toward Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. "Save me, please save me." The woman came in front of Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian with a pleading expression. She begged Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian for help. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He thought to himself, "This 100 countries battlefield is really chaotic. We've just arrived near Border City and haven't even entered the battlefield, and we've already encountered such a robbery." However, Mo Qingyun did not feel conflicted about this. Chapter 179. As the several large men behind the woman saw Mo Qingyun, they began to sneer. "Boy, if you want to be a hero and save a beauty, then you have to show some sincerity." After sizing up Mo Qingyun, one of the several large men raised his head and spoke to Mo Qingyun. I beg you, please save me." As the large man spoke, the woman's expression immediately changed. She began to beg Mo Qingyun. As the woman spoke, she hid behind Mo Qingyun, as if she wanted to use Mo Qingyun's body to shield herself. At this time, when the woman hid behind Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun, the burly men opposite them all revealed a faint smug smile on their faces. Looking at the expressions of these people, it was as if they had succeeded in their evil scheme. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. Doubt rose in his heart, as he faintly felt that something wasn't right. Immediately, Mo Qingyun became a little more cautious. He released his soul force and secretly observed the movements of these people. However, Mo Qingyun didn't care too much about this. These people's cultivations weren't too high. They were only at the middle level of the true element boundary. With this level of cultivation, even if they tried to play tricks, they still wouldn't be able to do anything. Seeing the woman hide behind Mo Qingyun, one of the large men coldly said to Mo Qingyun, "Boy, we paid a great price to obtain this woman. If you want to take her away, take out 100,000 spirit essence stones, and we'll let her go." 100,000 spirit essence stones? Hearing this request, Mo Qingyun was stunned for a moment. Then, he casually smiled and said, "Did I say that I wanted to save her? Also, you don't have the qualifications to take my 100,000 spirit essence stones." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the burly men were stunned. Clearly, they did not expect Mo Qingyun to reply in such a way. According to their expectations, Mo Qingyun should have stepped forward to save the damsel in distress. At this moment, while the burly men were still in a daze, the woman's expression quickly changed and she begged again. "Young master, please save me. If I fall into their hands, they will definitely rape me to death. As long as young master is willing to save me, I can give you everything." As the woman spoke, she made a pitiful expression towards Mo Qingyun. As she twisted her body, her snow-white skin was revealed through the gaps in her tattered clothes, causing one's imagination to run wild. Seeing the woman's reaction, Mo Qingyun seemed to have understood something and revealed a playful smile. Soon after, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and said to the woman, "Don't worry. Since you have said so, I will naturally save you." The moment they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the woman and the burly men all revealed joyful expressions. They secretly exchanged glances with each other. The woman and the burly men's actions were extremely subtle. If one didn't carefully observe, they wouldn't have noticed. But Mo Qingyun had a soul cultivation of the spirit origin realm. His perception was powerful, and it was not something a normal person could compare with. Not to mention, Mo Qingyun was still carefully observing. Therefore, as soon as the woman and the burly men made a move, they were immediately discovered by him. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's guess was quickly answered. It seemed that the woman and the burly men had colluded together and deliberately put on a show to trick passers-by. Mo Qingyun had encountered this kind of scam before, so he wasn't surprised. The world was so big that nothing was too strange. As long as one could think of something, anything could happen. "Young man, since you want to save this woman, then take out 100,000 elemental spiritual stones." At this time, one of the burly men had an impatient look on his face as he urged Mo Qingyun, "Take out spiritual stones?" Hearing the burly man's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and shook his head. "No need to go through so much trouble." "Young man, what do you mean by that?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the burly men's expressions changed, and they unhappily questioned Mo Qingyun. "As long as I kill all of you, everything will be over." Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and no longer paid attention to the burly men. He ordered Qi Lian, "Get rid of them." "Yes, young lord." Hearing Mo Qingyun's order, Qi Lian's eyes flashed red. He coldly looked at the burly men and said, "Young man, in your next life, open your eyes. Some people are not people you can blackmail." After Qi Lian spoke, he raised his hand and slapped down at the burly men. Following that, a huge palm print condensed at an extremely fast speed, crushing down forcefully from above the few of them. Bang! Under Qi Lian's palm, the burly men were immediately smashed into meat patties and slammed into the ground. There were no longer any signs of life on their bodies. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He looked at the woman and said, "Okay, they're all dead. You can leave." However, when the woman saw this scene, her expression immediately twitched. She revealed a terrified expression and said, "You killed them. They're just a few evil people. So what if I kill them? Mo Qingyun playfully smiled and asked the woman, "Do you think they don't deserve to die?" "No, no, that's not what I meant. They deserve to die. They deserve to die." Being stared at by Mo Qingyun like this, the woman's body immediately trembled. Her expression constantly twitched as she hurriedly replied to Mo Qingyun. Seeing the woman's reaction, Mo Qingyun ignored her. He nodded at Qi Lian and hurried to the border city. After Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian left, the woman was stunned on the spot. She only recovered after a long time. After regaining her senses, the woman looked at the burly men who had been slapped into the ground and said bitterly, "Tai Tu, ergo. I've already told you to stop people and rob them, but you didn't listen. Today, you finally tasted the bitter fruit, Sai." The woman sighed and moved the corpses of the burly men out. After burying them, she silently left. Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian did not know about the woman's current actions. However, they could not care less about it. After a short while, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the border city. However, when Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian arrived at the gate of the border city, a powerful fluctuation of yuan power exploded from the gate. Bang! Following that, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian saw a thin figure being blasted out from the gate of the border city. After this person landed, he spat out blood. There was a half-foot-long wound on his body. Blood flowed continuously, and he looked dispirited. Looking at his appearance, he probably did not have long to live. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were shocked by the scene before them, a one-eyed man chased after the injured man. He stepped on his body and said coldly, "Oomph, how dare you snatch the secret battlefield key from me? You're courting death." As soon as the one-eyed man finished speaking, he raised the long sword in his hand and slashed down at the injured man, killing him. After killing the injured man, the one-eyed man took a red triangular token from the corpse and left with a smug smile. Sigh. Another person died in the battle for the secret battlefield key. I wonder how many more people will die in the battle for the secret battlefield key. I'm afraid you don't know. This time, the 100 Countries battlefield is different from the past. I heard that a large number of treasures have been unearthed, causing everyone to fight to enter. As a result, the battle for the secret battlefield key is extremely intense. I also heard that among these treasures, there is an ancient treasure that has been unearthed. Everyone is here for this treasure. At this moment, when the one-eyed man left, the surrounding people began to whisper among themselves. A treasure has been unearthed? Hearing the crowd's words, Mo Qingyun raised his eyebrows and revealed a trace of surprise. He did not expect that they would encounter a treasure unearthed this time. After a brief moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun was looking forward to the 100 Countries battlefield even more. He thought to himself, "However, it seems that I still have to obtain the secret battlefield key to enter the 100 Countries battlefield." Chapter 180. Walking into Border City, Mo Qingyun discovered that the interior area of Border City was extremely large. It was divided into two districts, the inner city and the outer city. The outer city was extremely chaotic. Fights and killings often occurred. Under the aftermath of the fights and killings, the houses here were all in ruins. After a simple look at the outer city, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian walked into the inner city. As soon as they entered the inner city, Mo Qingyun felt that the security of the inner city was much better. From time to time, there were some patrols passing by. These patrols were not weak. They were all in the Yuandan realm, especially the patrol captain, who had reached the 7th level of the Yuandan realm. If such a person was placed in a small city like Spring Sun City, he would be in existence at the level of an ancestor. Under the supervision of such patrols, it was no wonder that the security of the inner city was so much better. Because of the lack of destruction caused by fighting, the mansions in the inner city were extremely splendid and grand. Every pavilion was richly decorated with carved railings and jade, dazzling in gold and jade. In addition, there were many small stalls on both sides of the inner city road. Here, they set up stalls to sell some items. Each of these items was strange and strange. The quality was extremely special. They were different from those that appeared in the Tianhan continent. These items. After seeing these items, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's expressions immediately changed. They said in surprise, "It seems to be very similar to that place. How is this possible?" After this discovery, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian's expressions became serious. At this moment, they seemed to have encountered a major discovery. Immediately, the two of them no longer hesitated and immediately checked the stalls one by one. After a round of inspection, a golden ring on a stall attracted Mo Qingyun's attention. This is... Looking at the golden ring in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression suddenly changed. His heartbeat quickened. He really did not expect to encounter such an item here. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was feeling excited, the stall owner squeezed out a stiff smile and said to him, "This is a spirit beast collar. Once you use it to trap a monster, no matter what monster it is, it will become obedient and obediently become your spirit beast." Looking at the stall owner's stiff smile and his jerky words, it should be his first time setting up a stall here. Spirit beast collar? Hearing the stall owner's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He felt a little bitter and did not know whether to laugh or cry. Such a powerful item was actually called an ordinary spirit beast collar by the stall owner. Mo Qingyun immediately did not know what to say. He could only sigh in his heart. This stall owner really did not know the goods. Mo Qingyun had seen this golden ring once before. Its might could be said to be earth-shattering. Even when he was at the Sovereign Realm, he had suffered some losses under this golden ring. Furthermore, according to Mo Qingyun's knowledge, this golden ring seemed to only exist in one place. Now that he suddenly saw this golden ring, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a curious expression and asked, "Where did you get this golden ring?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the stall owner revealed an expression as if he was looking at an idiot and replied, "Of course it's in the 100 Countries battlefield. Don't you know that all the items in this stall were obtained from the 100 Countries battlefield?" The 100 Countries battlefield. Hearing the stall owner's words, Mo Qingyun's heart suddenly trembled. He was very surprised by this answer. Shortly after, he frowned slightly and thought to himself, could this 100 Countries battlefield be related to that place? After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's heart increased in anticipation and curiosity towards the 100 Countries battlefield. "Hey, do you want this spirit beast collar or not?" Seeing Mo Qingyun holding the golden ring and not speaking for a long time, the stall owner impatiently urged, "How much is it?" Seeing the stall owner's urging, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more words and directly asked for the price. 1,000,000 elemental holy stones. The stall owner said without hesitation, 1,000,000 elemental holy stones? Hearing the stall owner's price, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry in his heart. He bitterly smiled and said, "This god-binding ring only costs 1,000,000 elemental holy stones. If those old fellows knew about this, they would probably be so scared that they would kick the bucket." This was something that could threaten a supreme being powerhouse. Mo Qingyun really didn't expect that this stall owner would sell such a terrifying item for only 1,000,000 elemental holy stones. Could it be any cheaper? However, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that the stall owner saw that he didn't speak for a long time and thought that it was too expensive. Soon after, the stall owner revealed a pondering expression. After a short silence, the stall owner gritted his teeth and said, "If you really want to buy it and don't have enough elemental holy stones on you, I can give you a slightly cheaper price." "There's a discount?" Hearing the stall owner's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze for a moment before he bitterly smiled. He really didn't think that a price as cheap as 1,000,000 elemental holy stones could actually be discounted. Even if he was a reincarnated supreme being powerhouse, he still found this a bit inconceivable. However, the stall owner's next words left him even more speechless. 600,000 elemental holy stones. This is the lowest price. The stall owner clenched his teeth as if he had made a great decision. He stated a price that was the bottom line in his heart, and then said to Mo Qingyun, "If you can accept this price, then you can take it." From the looks of it, this price really was the bottom line in the stall owner's heart. After hearing the price of 600,000 elemental holy stones, Mo Qingyun shook his head, not knowing what to say. Seeing Mo Qingyun shake his head in silence, the stall owner suddenly became anxious. He said to Mo Qingyun, "Dear guest, you're shaking your head and remaining silent. Are you going to buy it or not?" Looking at the stall owner's current expression, it seemed as if he was about to cry. It seemed that he really was anxious. There was nothing he could do about it. In this border city, the things that were least lacking were the treasures that were brought out from the 100 Countries battlefield. No one knew the true use of these treasures, so they were all trying their luck. Now that he had finally encountered an interested customer, the stall owner certainly wasn't willing to give up. But he really didn't think that the other party would be so poor. Seeing the stall owner's current expression, Mo Qingyun really couldn't bear it anymore. He took out a cosmos bag and tossed it to the stall owner, saying, "I want this spirit beast collar." Then, Mo Qingyun stood up with a faint smile and placed the god-binding ring into the cosmos bag. 2 million elemental holy stones. As Mo Qingyun put away the spirit beast collar, the stall owner opened the cosmos bag. Then his entire body froze. What entered his eyes was an expanse of elemental holy stones. There were nearly 2 million of them. 2 million elemental holy stones. After learning of this result, the stall owner's heartbeat immediately sped up. He suddenly felt as if everything was unreal. The customer that he had thought was poor was actually a rich one. He had directly doubled the price. What was laughable was that he had actually been lowering the price, hoping that the other party would accept it. This scene was really quite dramatic. However, when the stall owner raised his head to look at Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun, he could no longer find Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun. Chapter 181. A moment later, Qi Lian revealed a curious expression and asked Mo Qingyun, "Young lord, that golden ring just now, could it be the god-binding ring?" Hearing Qi Lian's question, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied, "You guessed right, it is indeed the god-binding ring. It really is the god-binding ring." Hearing Mo Qingyun's confirmation, Qi Lian's face immediately twitched and revealed a shocked expression. His heart was unable to calm down for a long time. Something like the god-binding ring actually appeared in the border city. This was too unexpected and shocking for him. After a short while, Qi Lian calmed down and said, "Young lord, for the god-binding ring to appear here, could it be that the 100 Countries battlefield is related to that place?" Hearing this, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. After pondering for a while, he said, "I can't confirm this for now, but one thing is for sure, this 100 Countries battlefield is definitely not simple." Mo Qingyun was very clear about the place that Qi Lian was talking about. It was a place that would cause one's expression to change when they heard it. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qi Lian immediately fell silent. To them, that place was simply a taboo. Although it was full of opportunities, it was also full of danger. Even if he was at the peak of the transcendent realm back then, it was still incomparably dangerous. A moment of carelessness could cost him his life. From this, it could be seen how dangerous that place was. It was also because of this that that place was known as the paradise of the strong, as well as the grave of the strong. Take this god-binding ring. At this moment, while Qi Lian was thinking in his heart, Mo Qingyun handed the god-binding ring to him. "Young lord, this," seeing Mo Qingyun throw the god-binding ring to him, Qi Lian's face was instantly filled with excitement. He couldn't believe Mo Qingyun's actions. He really didn't expect that Mo Qingyun would give him a treasure like the god-binding ring. As the name implied, the god-binding ring could even imprison a god. From this, one could see how powerful it was. Looking at Qi Lian's expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "You're heading to the Pill Palace battlefield. That place is even more dangerous. With this god-binding ring in your hands, your safety will be guaranteed. I'm waiting for you to come out with an army of Pill Palace experts. This old servant will not disappoint the young lord. Qi Lian did not say anything else after hearing Mo Qingyun's words. He nodded and accepted the god-binding ring with a firm expression. At this moment, Mo Qingyun felt that besides reverence, Qi Lian seemed to have some other feelings towards him. After that, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian continued to talk as they continued forward. They discussed some details that they needed to pay attention to after entering the 100 Countries battlefield. The secret battlefield key will go to the highest bidder. There aren't many opportunities, so don't miss it. At this moment, as Mo Qingyun and Jian Wushuang were walking, the sound of someone hawking reached their ears. Secret battlefield key? Hearing this hawking, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, revealing a look of surprise. He didn't expect that there would be someone selling such an item in a street stall in the inner city. Let's go and take a look. Mo Qingyun hesitated for a moment before instructing Qi Lian. He stood up and walked towards the hawking stall. After a short while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the stall selling the secret battlefield key. At this moment, the stall was surrounded by people. These people were drooling as they looked at the secret battlefield key in the stall owner's hand. Seeing the expressions of the people in front of him, the stall owner revealed a sly expression and shouted again, "Hey, don't miss this chance. This is the last secret battlefield key. Come take a look." Under the stall owner's shout, many people immediately squeezed over. After seeing the secret battlefield key in the stall owner's hand, they all revealed drooling looks. At this time in the crowd, a fat middle-aged man impatiently urged, "Cut the crap. Hurry up and tell us how much you're selling this secret battlefield key for." "That's right. You brat. Hurry up and tell us how much you're selling it, otherwise we'll all leave." "Brat, if you want to sell it, then hurry up. Don't dilly-dally over there. If you piss me off, then I'll teach you a lesson." Everyone is waiting. If everyone is impatient, then you won't be able to survive in this border city. After the fat middle-aged man's words, the surrounding people also began to urge the stall owner, their voices carrying a threatening tone. As soon as the stall owner heard everyone's words, he immediately smiled and said to the crowd, "Since it's like this, then I'll quote a price. The starting price is 1,000,000 spirit essence stones, and each increase must be no less than 50,000 spirit essence stones." "Damn, you brat. Are you trying to rob us? You actually want 1,000,000 spirit essence stones for a true element boundary battlefield key? In the past, a true element boundary battlefield key was only 100,000 spirit essence stones. You actually asked for 10 times the price. That's too much. Brat, are you deliberately playing with us? Do you know what the consequences of doing this will be?" Hearing the stall owner's words, the surrounding people all revealed looks of dissatisfaction. However, this stall owner seemed to have already anticipated the crowd's dissatisfaction. After seeing the crowd's reaction, he smiled apologetically and said, "Everyone, please listen to me. Right now, an ancient treasure has appeared in the battlefield. This secret battlefield key is the proof to fight for the ancient treasure. Only with this secret battlefield key will you have the opportunity to fight for the ancient treasure. Think about it. If you only use 1,000,000 spirit essence stones to purchase the battlefield key, then you will have the chance to compete for the ancient treasure. If you were to obtain the ancient treasure, then wouldn't you have made a great profit?" After hearing the stall owner's words, everyone's eyes began to shine with greed. It was clear that the stall owner's words had aroused his greed, and he had gradually lost all reason. At the same time, everyone's eyes changed as they looked at the battlefield key. It was as if the battlefield key was an ancient treasure. As Mo Qingyun saw everyone's expressions change, he couldn't help but shake his head. He admired the stall owner's eloquence. At the same time, he couldn't help but think that compared to the stall owner just now, the disparity was as great as the heavens and earth. If that stall owner had even half of this stall owner's eloquence, then his business would have been much better. Seeing that the atmosphere was about right, the stall owner didn't hesitate. He immediately struck while the iron was hot. Since that's the case, Then let's not delay any longer. Let's start the auction now. I bid 1.05 million. As the stall owner's words fell, someone immediately spoke up. 1.05 million? You have a nerve to bid 1.05 million? I bid 1.2 million. I bid 1.3 million. At this moment, everyone seemed to have gone crazy. They began to crazily bid 3 million spirit essence stones. After a moment, the battlefield key's price rose to 3 million spirit essence stones. However, the speed at which the price rose began to slow down. It seemed that 3 million spirit essence stones was already the limit that everyone could bear. At this moment, as everyone was crazily bidding, a group of people stood behind them. A group of people stood a short distance away from the stall. All of them had cold smiles on their faces as they looked mockingly at the crowd around the stall. At this moment, one of the people in the crowd said disdainfully, "A bunch of idiots. They fought with their lives on the line, but in the end, they still benefited our young Master High Tongue. Ha ha! If it weren't for these idiots, how could young Master High Tongue have obtained the battlefield key so easily?" Another person sneered. At this moment, while this group of people was talking self-righteously, Mo Qingyun, who was next to the stall, finally opened his mouth to bid 5 million gold coins. Seeing that no one continued to bid, Mo Qingyun announced his own price. After looting the treasure vaults of the Sky Dragon sect, the Mount Tai sect, the Zhou family, and the Galaxy Master sect, Mo Qingyun had an astonishing amount of spirit essence stones on him. Therefore, a few million spirit essence stones were like a drizzle to him. Mo Qingyun felt that a few million spirit essence stones could solve the battlefield keys problem. It was very worth it. 5 million. That kid actually bid 5 million spirit essence stones. This kid is so rich. He just increased the price by 2 million spirit essence stones. This is crazy. Is this guy crazy? 5 million spirit essence stones to buy a true element stage battlefield key? Which family's prodigal son is this? Haha, this kid is a fat fish. We can't let him run away. After Mo Qingyun opened his mouth, everyone's eyes gathered on him, each with their own thoughts. Mo Qingyun ignored everyone's gazes and waited for the stall owner's reply. After Mo Qingyun opened his mouth, the surrounding people immediately quieted down. No one opened their mouths to compete. To them, 5 million spirit essence stones to buy a battlefield key was too wasteful. Seeing that no one spoke, Mo Qingyun asked the stall owner, "Can you announce the result?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the stall owner was shocked. His face was filled with disbelief. It seemed that for him, a true element stage battlefield key to be auctioned off for 5 million spirit essence stones was also very unexpected. After a brief moment of shock, the stall owner smiled in pleasant surprise. He turned to Mo Qingyun and said, "Congratulations, Sir Mo Qingyun. You've successfully won this secret battlefield key for 5 million spirit essence stones. Now, this secret battlefield key is yours." Mo Qingyun didn't bother with the stall owner's flattering words. He tossed the stall owner a universe bag and said, "There are 5 million spirit essence stones inside. Check it." After handing over the spirit essence stones, Mo Qingyun also took the true element stage battlefield key from the stall owner's hands. Then, after the stall owner confirmed that the amount was correct, he didn't stay any longer and turned to leave. Wait a moment. However, at this time, as Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were preparing to leave, several figures blocked their path. Chapter 182. At this moment, after Mo Qingyun's path was blocked, the surrounding people's attention was immediately drawn over. Then, the people at the side quickly surrounded them. That youth seems to be the Fair family's High Tongue. For that boy to be targeted by him, he really has 8 lifetimes of bad luck. The Fair family is one of the top 10 families in the entire Xia country. For that boy to be targeted by them is really bad luck. It looks like the 5 million spirit essence stones this boy spent to buy the secret battlefield key is going to be wasted like this. Seeing this scene, Everyone sighed. Some of them looked at Mo Qingyun with sympathy. Seeing that their path was blocked, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes slightly and raised his head to look at the other party. Seeing Mo Qingyun look at him, the youth revealed an arrogant expression. He said to Mo Qingyun, "Boy, I'll give you 100,000 spirit essence stones. Sell that secret battlefield key to me." 100,000 spirit essence stones? Hearing this youth's words, Mo Qingyun narrowed his eyes again. He looked at the youth and lightly smiled. "I'll give you 10 spirit essence stones. Sell your mother to me." Seeing this youth's actions, how could Mo Qingyun not know that this youth was planning to force a deal? If this youth wanted to force a deal with him, then that would depend on whether or not this youth had the ability to do so. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he released his soul force and sensed the cultivation of these people. After learning the cultivation of these people, the smile on Mo Qingyun's face became even wider. "Boy, you're courting death." After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai Tang's face sank. He coldly said to Mo Qingyun, "I'll give you 3 breaths of time to immediately hand over the secret battlefield key. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." Under Mo Qingyun's provocative words, Hai Tang didn't even take out 100,000 spirit essence stones. It seemed that he was truly angry. After issuing an order to Mo Qingyun, Hai Tang paused for a moment, then said in a displeased tone, "Boy, you'd better think about it carefully. If this young master makes a move, it won't be as simple as just taking the secret battlefield key." What surprised Hai Tang was that when Mo Qingyun heard his words, he curled his lips in disdain and said nonchalantly, "I'm also telling you to get lost immediately with your men. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave later." "How dare you talk to me like that?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai Tang's expression froze. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's courage. Then, Hai Tang smiled arrogantly and said coldly, "Boy, you probably don't know who I am, right? Who are you? What does that have to do with me?" Hearing Hai Tang's words, Mo Qingyun once again smiled disdainfully and replied. For a moment, Mo Qingyun and Hai Tang seemed to be competing against each other. After seeing this scene, the surrounding people's expressions changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. They didn't think that Mo Qingyun would be so bold as to compete with Hai Tang. That boy is really not afraid of death. He actually dares to talk to Hai Tang like that. In my opinion, this boy is going to be miserable soon. The Hai family has a pill palace expert accompanying them. Not only that, I heard that the Hai family also has a patrol captain in the patrol team. Yes, the patrol captain is Hai Tang's uncle. He dares to be so arrogant in the border city because of this. At this moment, the crowd once again whispered to each other and looked at Mo Qingyun with sympathy. As far as they were concerned, Mo Qingyun was simply courting death by going against Hai Tang. At this moment, when everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with sympathy, Hai Tang's face darkened. He said coldly to Mo Qingyun, "Boy, since you refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit, it seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how powerful I am. You want to fight?" Hearing Hai Tang's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He asked with some surprise, "Fighting is allowed in the inner city of the border city?" Previously, Mo Qingyun saw that the inner city security was good, so he thought that fighting was prohibited. Now, after hearing Hai Tang's words, he immediately understood. It was the same everywhere. No rules were absolute. The strong would always have special treatment. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people's expression changed again. They looked at Mo Qingyun with even more sympathy. In their opinion, the reason why Mo Qingyun dared to be so arrogant with Hai Tang was because he thought that fighting was not allowed in the inner city of the border city. But who was Hai Tang? He was the genius of the Hai family, one of the top 10 families in the state of Great Xia. He was the nephew of the patrol captain of the border city. For him, these rules that restricted ordinary people had no effect at all on this side of the border city. "Ha ha!" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai Tang immediately sneered proudly. He grinned and said, "Boy, So you dare to talk to me like this because you can't fight in the inner city of the border city. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed this time. Oh, is that so? Mo Qingyun looked curious. He squinted his eyes and looked at Hai Tong, waiting for Hai Tong to speak. Humph, since you're about to hand over the secret battlefield key, I'll let you die today. Hai Tong looked at Mo Qingyun coldly and sneered. He said, ordinary people can't fight in this side of the border city, but the patrol captain here is my uncle. I'm different from you. Now you can die in peace. Hearing Hai Tang's words, Mo Qingyun showed a look of understanding. He said disdainfully, so, your uncle is abusing his power for personal gain? Abusing his power for personal gain? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai Tang immediately curled his lips in disdain. He sneered, boy, the so-called rules and laws are just to restrict ordinary people like you. They exist only to serve the strong. I've said so much to you. It's time to send you on your way. Hai Tang smiled coldly and said no more. He ordered the people behind him, don't just stand there. Send this boy on his way. Yes, young Master Hai Tang. Hearing Hai Tang's order, there were more people behind them. They immediately attacked Mo Qingyun and Hai Tang. The people behind Hai Tang were not weak. They were all above the 4th level of Yuan Dan realm. The strongest one among them was at the 6th level of Yuan Dan realm. After they responded to Hai Tang, they looked at Mo Qingyun sympathetically and sneered, boy, in your next life, wipe your eyes. There are some people you can't afford to offend. Hearing their words, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up, revealing a playful smile. He smiled faintly and said, the same goes for all of you. When you reincarnate in your next life, wipe your eyes. When you become a lackey, don't find the wrong master. Boy, you're courting death. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the people suddenly became angry. They raised their hands and attacked Mo Qingyun. However, he didn't show the slightest change in expression. He looked at Qi Lian indifferently and said, kill them all. Yes, young lord. After Qi Lian heard this, he responded and raised his hand to blast out a palm at the few of them. Suddenly, the aura on Qi Lian's body became violet. Under his palm, a shocking amount of origin energy blasted out. In midair, it formed a huge blood-red palm shadow, crushing down on the people. Bang! Under Qi Lian's palm, the people didn't even have the chance to resist. They were directly smashed into the ground and couldn't move for a long time. After seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe their eyes. They never thought that the Hai family's guards, who were originally full of vigor, would be instantly crippled by the red-haired old man. This red-haired old man was a high-level Yuan Dan realm expert. After a short moment of being stunned, the people's hearts unconsciously had the same thought. They looked at Mo Qingyun with a trace of respect in their eyes. A high-level Yuan Dan realm expert, even in this border city, was a top existence. After Qi Lian crippled the people of the Hai family, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He walked towards Hai Tang and asked, now, do you still want to buy my secret battlefield key? After being asked by Mo Qingyun and seeing that Mo Qingyun was slowly approaching him, Hai Tang's face suddenly twitched. He was frightened and said, don't come over. My uncle is the patrol captain of the border city. If you dare to touch me, you won't be able to leave the border city. Is that so? Hearing Hai Tang's words, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a playful smile. However, he didn't take Hai Tang's words to heart. What's going on? At this moment, when everyone was waiting for Mo Qingyun's next move, a cold voice came from not far away. Then, the crowd felt waves of shocking auras pressing down on them. Chapter 183. Seeing the arrival of the patrol team, everyone's expression changed. They looked at Mo Qingyun and Hai Tang sympathetically, because they saw that the middle-aged man at the front of the patrol team was Hai Tang's uncle, Hai Sun. Third uncle, save me. Seeing Hai Sun, Hai Tang was pleasantly surprised. He quickly ran towards Hai Sun. Hearing Hai Tang's cry for help and looking at the dead Hai family guards, Hai-sun's face immediately turned ugly. Don't be afraid. With me here, no one can hurt you. Seeing Hai-tung in front of him, Hai-sun comforted him and asked, Tell me, what is going on? Yes. When Hai-tung heard this, he sneered and told Hai-sun, It's like this. Just now, I bought a true energy stage battlefield secret key from a stall. However, when I was preparing to leave, this brat and that crimson-haired old man suddenly walked over and blocked our path. Then they attacked us. Later on, not only did they kill the guards, they even snatched the secret battlefield key that I had obtained. Hearing Hai-tung's words, the surrounding people showed a look of disdain. This guy was obviously distorting the facts. Such a thing actually happened. Do they still have any respect for the rules? Hearing Hai-tung's story, Hai-sun's face immediately darkened. He shouted at Mo, Qingyun, and Hai-tung, You two have big guts. In this inner city, you actually dared to kill and rob. Now, cripple your own cultivation and follow me to receive your punishment. At this moment, Hai-sun's tone was full of command, as if he was an emperor. His words were not to be disobeyed. You want us to cripple our own cultivation and receive our punishment? Hearing Hai-sun's command, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and asked, You are the patrol captain of the border city. You should enforce the law impartially. But you came here and only listened to his side of the story. You jumped to conclusions and decided to punish us. Isn't that too arbitrary? Do I need you to teach me how to do things? Hai-sun's expression became even more unsightly when he heard Mo Qingyun's question, and he said coldly, Both of you surrender now and follow me to the law enforcement hall in the city to be investigated. If the investigation proves that both of you have been wronged, then I'll let both of you go. Surrender? After hearing Hai-sun's words, the mocking expression on Mo Qingyun's face became even more intense. He said disdainfully, If we went to the disciplinary hall in the city, I'm afraid we won't be able to make it out alive. Brat, are you not going to cooperate? Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai-sun's expression became even more unsightly. He said coldly, Since that's the case, don't blame us for being impolite. If we make a move to arrest him, the outcome can't be guaranteed. At this moment, Hai-sun's words were filled with threats. His meaning couldn't be clearer. It was obvious that he was warning Mo Qingyun that if they made a move to arrest him, it was very likely that Mo Qingyun and Hai-sun would be executed on the spot. If you want to make a move, then just do it. There's no need for so much nonsense. After hearing Hai-sun's hypocritical words, Mo Qingyun looked at him with disdain and mocked, Also, since you want to be a prostitute, then don't pretend to be chaste. Otherwise, everyone will laugh at you. Everyone is very clear about what happened. If you want to investigate, why do you need to go to the disciplinary hall? Audacious fanatics, you actually dare to resist the law enforcement and insult the patrol members. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai-sun's expression immediately darkened. He ordered the dozen guards behind him, All of you immediately make a move and arrest these two fanatics. If they dare to resist, then execute them on the spot. Yes, Captain. Upon hearing Hai-sun's orders, the patrol members immediately responded and surrounded Mo Qingyun and Hai-sun. At this moment, when Hai-sun ordered the patrol members to make a move, Hai-tung walked towards one of the patrol members and instructed, You immediately go and inform my family's elders that someone is trying to kill my Hai family's people. After witnessing Qi Lian's strength, Hai-tung was a little worried. The patrol members before him were no match for Qi Lian. After a while, the patrol members surrounded Mo Qingyun and Hai-sun, blocking their path. After seeing this scene, Hai-tung revealed a complacent sneer. With a cruel expression, he looked at Mo Qingyun and sneered, Brat, this time you're dead. After seeing this scene, the surrounding people's expressions changed. In their hearts, they were worried for Mo Qingyun and Hai-sun. In the eyes of the crowd, with so many patrol members surrounding them, Mo Qingyun and Hai-sun's fate was most likely going to be worrisome. These two brats are really finished this time. Under the attack of the patrol members, no one has ever been able to survive. Yeah, their luck is really bad. If the patrol members had come a little later, they would have had a chance to escape. Sigh, In this city, it's better to stay away from High Tongue in the future. This brat is too dangerous. For a moment, the crowd could not help but sigh. At this moment, while the crowd was sighing in their hearts, the patrol members began to attack Mo, Qingyun, and Hai Sun. Yin and Yang splitting wave palm, solitary emperor demon fist, piercing moon sword technique. In an instant, various sword lights, fist lights, and palm shadows covered the sky as they blasted towards Mo, Qingyun, and Hai Sun. Oof. You're courting death. Seeing the crowd's attacks, Qi Lian's face darkened. With a cold snort, he raised his hand and blasted towards the crowd. Blood-devouring demon palm. When Qi Lian blasted out his palm, a powerful aura instantly erupted from his body. Origin energy violently surged out from his palm. At this moment, the origin energy in Qi Lian's palm gushed out like water from a broken dam. It was overbearing. As soon as the origin energy appeared, it transformed into a huge bloody palm. With the momentum to split open the sky, it slammed towards the patrol members. Bang! When the huge bloody palm landed, the earth quaked and the mountains shook. All the attacking patrol members were blasted into the ground by this palm. With one move, more than 10 Yuan Dan stage powerhouses were killed. Moreover, there was no lack of 4th or 5th level Yuan Dan stage powerhouses among them. Even so, they were still slapped to death by this palm. From this, it could be seen how terrifying and overbearing Qi Lian's palm was. Silence. At this moment, the surroundings immediately quieted down. Everyone's mouths were agape. Strong. So strong. This red-haired old man is so strong. At this moment, the same thought arose in everyone's hearts. How? How could this be? How could that red-haired old man be so strong? Seeing Qi Lian's terrifying strength, Hai Tang's heart instantly trembled. His face twitched continuously. The extent of Qi Lian's strength had far exceeded his expectations. At this moment, he could not help but feel regret in his heart. It was really not worth offending such a terrifying existence for a true energy stage battlefield secret key. 8th level Yuan Dan stage. After seeing the strength displayed by Qi Lian, Hai Sun's expression changed slightly. His face became somewhat solemn. The strength displayed by Qi Lian was already troublesome for him. However, it was only troublesome. In this past city, if the Pill Palace did not make a move, there was no one he could not take down. After thinking about this, Hai Sun's expression turned cold. He slowly took a step forward and said coldly, "So you do have some strength. No wonder you dare to be so arrogant. However, I will soon tell you how idiotic your actions are." Hearing Hai Sun's words, Qi Lian looked at him with disdain and said, "A brat at the peak of Yuan Dan stage dares to talk nonsense in front of this old man. Let this old man teach you how to behave." Chapter 184. Blood-devouring demonic palm. As soon as Qi Lian made his move, a terrifying wave of Yuan Qi exploded from his body. Soon after, a huge blood-red palm shadow was formed as he struck out with his palm. It was like a 5-finger mountain pressing down on Hai Sun from midair. At this moment, the blood-red palm was much stronger than the previous one, and the Yuan Qi wave was much more intense. On top of that, there was a mysterious energy emitting from the blood-red palm. It was the power of might. Power! Power of might! Feeling the power of might emitted from the blood-red palm, Hai Sun's face twitched. His face turned pale as he said in fear, Dan Palace, you're a Dan Palace expert?" He never thought that the red-haired elder in front of him would be a Dan Palace expert. He was only at the peak of the 9th level of Yuan Dan realm, but he dared to provoke a Dan Palace expert. He was courting death. Thinking of this, Hai Sun's heart trembled as he looked at Hai Tung furiously. This bastard actually dared to provoke a Pill Palace realm expert for no reason. Was such a person someone he could casually provoke? More importantly, it was fine for him to provoke the Dan Palace expert, but he actually dragged him down with him. Wasn't he digging a hole for his uncle? However, at the same time that he cursed Hai Tung in his heart, Hai Sun did not dare to hesitate. He immediately revealed a pleading expression and begged Qi Lian for mercy. Say, Senior, I was wrong. I beg you to show mercy and spare my lowly life. I won't dare to do it again. You still want to have a next time? Dream on. In response to Hai Sun's pleading, Qi Lian sneered and continued to attack Hai Sun. Bang! As the blood-red palm landed, it set off a terrifying wave of Yuan Qi that swept out towards the surroundings. Under this wave of Yuan Qi, the surrounding people were forced to retreat. Their faces were filled with fear. After knowing Qi Lian's cultivation, the way they looked at Mo, Qingyun, and Hai Tung had changed completely. There was no longer any sympathy in their eyes. There was only a strong sense of respect. Even in the entire Xia country, an expert of the Pill Palace realm was in existence akin to a king. In any family, as long as there was an expert from the Pill Palace, no matter how weak the family was, it would be listed as a first-rate family. From this, one could see how important an expert of the Pill Palace was. Seeing that Hai Sun had been killed by Qi Lian, Mo, Qingyun smiled faintly and walked towards the panicking Hai Tung. Now, it seems that no one can save you. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hai Tung's face twitched. His face was filled with fear as he retreated. At this moment, he finally understood how terrifying the person he had provoked was. Even though their Hai family was very strong, they weren't willing to provoke the experts of the Pill Palace unless they had no other choice. With his status in the Hai family wouldn't offend a Pill Palace realm expert for him. Thinking of this, Hai Tung's face turned ashen. He begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. Say, Senior, please spare me, just like you spare a dog. Spare you? Hearing Hai Tung's words, Mo Qingyun looked at him mockingly and said with disdain, comparing you to a dog is an insult to the dog. So you should just die? As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he raised his hand and sent a palm strike towards Hai Tung's head. No. Seeing Mo Qingyun attack, Hai Tung's face was filled with despair as he screamed. However, even though he was terrified, under the pressure of Qi Lian's aura, he couldn't move his body. Stop! At this moment, when Mo Qingyun's palm strike was sent out, a cold shout came from the sky. Then, Mo Qingyun saw a figure flying toward him at high speed. Fly in the sky, it was a Pill Palace realm expert. It should be the Pill Palace realm expert from the Hai family. Hearing this person's words, Hai Tung's face was filled with joy as he shouted, Great Ancestor Kuei Min, save me! Bang! However, before Hai Tung could finish his words, Mo Qingyun's palm landed on his head, killing him instantly. After receiving Mo Qingyun's palm strike, Hai Tung's face was filled with unwillingness as he fell to the ground with his eyes wide open. He didn't expect that he would die in the hands of Mo Qingyun even after the arrival of the Pill Palace realm expert from the Hai family. He couldn't believe that Mo Qingyun still dared to kill him after seeing the Pill Palace realm expert from the Hai family. Brat, how dare you kill a member of the Hai family? You're courting death. Seeing that Mo Qingyun still killed Hai Tung after hearing his words, the Pill Palace realm expert's face turned ugly. He raised his hand and sent a palm strike towards Mo Qingyun. Oomph. So what if I killed a member of the Hai family? Hearing the words of the Hai family's Pill Palace realm expert, Hai Kuei Min, Mo Qingyun sneered and replied, Just now, the two juniors of the Hai family said that they were dogs and begged me to let them go. Oomph. If you want to touch the young lord, you'll have to go through me first. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun replied to Hai Kuei Min's words, Qi Lian's face turned cold. He moved his body and sent a palm strike towards Hai Kuei Min Boom. As the two Pill Palace realm experts exchanged blows, a terrifying shockwave of battle erupted. Yuan energy was released and wreaked havoc. Bang, bang, bang. Under the sweeping of this terrifying essence energy, some of the surrounding houses were instantly shattered into pieces and turned into ruins. As for the surrounding spectators, after seeing this, they didn't dare to hesitate. They immediately retreated and escaped. PFFF. In the process of everyone fleeing, some of the people with lower cultivation bases and slower speed were directly shaken by the aftershocks of the battle, causing them to vomit blood and their faces to turn pale. After that, everyone's gaze towards Qi Lian and Hai Kuei Min was filled with intense reverence. The Pill Palace realm experts were too terrifying. Their destructive power was too shocking. Just the shockwave of the battle alone was enough to turn the surrounding houses within a few hundred meters into ruins. It was a mess. Furthermore, some people with weaker cultivations were seriously injured by the aftermath of the battle. This was simply too astonishing. At this moment, everyone had the same thought. In the future, when the Pill Palace realm experts fought, it was better to run further away. Otherwise, if they were caught in the crossfire, it wouldn't be good. Just like those people now, it was too unjust. At this moment, after Qi Lian and Hai Kuei Min exchanged blows, in the border city, terrifying auras suddenly appeared. These are the auras of the Pill Palace realm experts. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Not long after, the crowd saw many figures flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. From the looks of it, these Pill Palace realm experts should have been alerted by the battle between Qi Lian and Hai Kuei Min. After a while, more than 10 Pill Palace realm experts arrived around Qi Lian and Hai Kuei Min. In an instant, under the cover of more than 10 terrifying auras, the surrounding people were immediately frightened. Being suppressed by the aura of 20 Pill Palace realm experts, this feeling was simply too frightening. However, although they were frightened, they were still very excited. Almost 20 Pill Palace realm experts appeared together. Such a scene wasn't easy to see. After more than 10 Pill Palace realm experts arrived. Among them, an old man wearing a golden imperial robe took a few steps towards Qi Lian and Hai Kuei Min. He smiled faintly and said, "The two of you, what's the matter that can't be settled peacefully? Why do you have to make such a big fuss? This person killed many of my clansmen. This debt cannot be forgiven." Hearing the words of the old man in the golden robe, Hai Kuei Min's face turned gloomy. He said to him in a deep voice, "Therefore, I hope that Marquis Peng Lin will not interfere in this matter." Hearing Hai Kuei Min's words, Peng Lin unconsciously looked towards the ground. When Peng Lin saw the corpses on the ground, his expression couldn't help but change. He was slightly shocked and thought to himself, "This red-haired old man is so ruthless. He actually killed so many clansmen of the Hai family. No wonder Hai Kuei Min went crazy." After all, a clan that could make a Pill Palace realm expert willingly become a servant must have terrifying strength. One had to know that the pride of a Pill Palace realm expert was extremely strong. If it wasn't for the fact that the other party was much stronger than him, how could he put down his pride and be willing to be a slave? In the entire Xia country, there wasn't a single clan that could make a Pill Palace realm expert become a servant. At most, he would become a consecrator of the clan. From this, one could see how difficult it was to make a Pill Palace realm expert willingly become a servant. The more Hikuman thought about it, the more apprehension he felt towards Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian. At this moment, while everyone was feeling apprehensive, Mo Qingyun squinted his eyes and looked towards the first-level Pill Palace realm expert. He said in a deep voice, "Whether my elders taught me manners or not, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you. Also, since when is it your turn to interrupt? Since when is it your turn to interrupt?" The moment Mo Qingyun's words came out, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. Their hearts skipped a beat, and the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed once again. He was provoking a Pill Palace realm expert. A true energy realm expert was provoking a Pill Palace realm expert. This action was simply too crazy. However, when the crowd saw Mo Qingyun's action, they couldn't look at him as if he was an idiot. In their opinion, there were only two possibilities for a true energy realm expert to speak to a Pill Palace realm expert in such a manner. The first possibility was that he had nothing to fear. The second possibility was that this person was an idiot. However, Mo Qingyun obviously wasn't the latter. In this case, it meant that Mo Qingyun had nothing to fear. After thinking about it, the first-level Pill Palace Realm expert's face twitched and a strong sense of apprehension rose in his heart. Following which, the first-level Pill Palace Realm expert revealed an embarrassed smile and said apologetically, "Hee, this old man was too rash. I hope this little brother can forgive me." A Pill Palace Realm expert apologizing to a true Energy Realm junior? After seeing this scene, the surrounding people were shocked. They felt that it was too surreal. This kind of thing was simply too illogical. At this moment, the surrounding people who were only at the true energy stage and the Yuan Dan stage instantly became excited when they saw this scene, and their hearts became excited. CK, this is too awesome. A true energy realm expert can actually make a Pill Palace Realm expert admit defeat. This is too awesome. Big brother, are you taking an underlings? From today onwards, I will follow you. You are the navigation light in my heart. What a domineering man. I like this kind of man. Let him ride me under his body. If he looks at me, I am willing to die. Too cool, too domineering, too strong. In an instant, the surrounding true energy realm and Yuan Dan realm experts were all excited. A true energy realm expert challenging a Pill Palace realm expert, and in the end, the Pill Palace Realm expert admitted defeat. Was there anything more awesome than this? What was happening right now was nothing short of a miracle to them. Peng Lin and the other Pill Palace experts didn't laugh at the first-level Pill Palace Realm expert admitting defeat. After all, Mo Qingyun's identity was special now. If it wasn't necessary, it was better not to provoke him. It was not worth it to provoke an unknown and terrifying existence just because of one sentence. After being stunned for a short while, Peng Lin looked at Mo Qingyun with a faint smile and said, "Little brother, this is the border pass. The inner city prohibits fighting. This is the rule of the Xia country's big families. I hope that little brother can give this old man some face and not fight here." Seeing Peng Lin's action, the surrounding people's expressions changed again. They were surprised by Peng Lin's attitude. Peng Lin was an expert at the fourth level of the Pill Palace realm. However, even someone like him had to be polite to Mo Qingyun at this moment. Compared to Mo Qingyun, Haiteng was simply too weak. He was nothing more than a rich second generation relying on his family. At this moment, the surrounding Yuan Dan realm and True Energy realm experts all had the same thought. Their hearts were filled with disdain for Haiteng. Hearing Peng Lin's words, Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows and thought quickly in his heart. Just now, when he was facing the first-level Pill Palace expert, he had grasped the mentality of the crowd. However, at this moment, if he continued to use a strong attitude and went against the agreement of the Xia country's big families, he would be provoking them. Although he wasn't afraid of the Xia country's big families, under the current situation, it was unwise to choose from them. After all, he and Qi Lian couldn't prove that they could fight against 20 Pill Palace experts. Once they fought, he and Qi Lian could only escape with the help of the teleportation gate. This wasn't what he wanted to see. He wanted Qi Lian to enter the 100 countries battlefield and make use of the 100 countries battlefield to develop an army of Pill Palace. After thinking about this, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and replied to Peng Lin, "Since Marquis Peng Lin has spoken, I naturally have to give him some face. If that's the case, thank you, little brother." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was giving him face, Peng Lin couldn't help but feel flattered. He quickly cupped his hands and thanked Mo Qingyun. After all, Mo Qingyun didn't give the first-level Pill Palace expert any face. Now that he was treating him with such an attitude, he gained a lot of face. This made Peng Lin secretly happy. This was the difference between them. After replying to Peng Lin, Mo Qingyun didn't say anything else. He stood up and walked towards the outer city. Before he left, he looked at Hai Kuimin and said coldly, "Hai family's old dog, I will wait for you in the outer city." Chapter 186. Old Dog of the High Family. I'll be waiting for you at the outer city. The moment Mo Qingyun's words left his mouth, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. Mo Qingyun's actions were too arrogant and overbearing. A true energy realm cultivator dared to treat a pill palace realm cultivator in such a manner. In the entire Xia country, Mo Qingyun was probably the only one who could do such a thing. Shortly after, everyone revealed strange gazes as they looked at High Queeman, wanting to see how he would respond. An expert at the third stage of the Pill Palace realm was provoked by a true energy realm cultivator. Presumably, he would be furious. "Brat, you've gone too far." Feeling the mocking gazes from the crowd, High Queeman's expression immediately turned ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, "No matter what your background is, I will tear you into pieces today to vent the hatred in my heart." After saying those words in anger, High Queeman's body moved as he flew towards the outer city of the border. Seeing High Queeman's actions, everyone's expression changed. They revealed looks of anticipation as they rushed towards the outer city of the border. There's going to be a good show to watch. At this moment, such a thought unconsciously appeared in everyone's hearts as they revealed looks of anticipation. They really wanted to know who would have the last laugh in the upcoming battle between Mo Qingyun and High Queeman. After a while, Mo Qingyun and High Queeman confronted each other in the outer city of the border. "Brat, although your background is mysterious, it's not enough to scare this old man." High Queeman's expression was ferocious as he looked at Mo Qingyun. He gritted his teeth and said, "Today this old man will let you know that sometimes being too arrogant isn't a good thing." Hearing High Queeman's words, the corner of Mo Qingyun's mouth twitched. He replied with disdain, "Old Dog of the High Family, are you spouting so much nonsense to hide the fear in your heart? Brat, you're courting death." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, High Queeman's expression turned even uglier. He let out a furious roar and attacked Mo Qingyun. Venomous heavenly centipede palm High Queeman blasted out a palm strike. Instantly, terrifying elemental energy fluctuations erupted from his body. The aura of a third-level Pill Palace expert was fully displayed. At the same time, under Hikweman's palm, a huge black centipede shadow rapidly condensed. Chi 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 chi. As soon as the huge black centipede shadow appeared, it twisted its huge body and pounced towards Mo Qingyun. Its entire body emitted a strong poisonous fog. Under this poisonous fog, the color of the entire sky changed. It was as if dark clouds covered the sky, causing people's hearts to palpitate. So powerful. At this moment, everyone's hearts trembled, and they looked at Hikweman with awe in their eyes. Oof. Seeing High Queeman attack, Qi Lian's expression turned cold. He snorted coldly and attacked. Blood mist. When Qi Lian moved, a terrifying bloody mist spread out from his body. It was like a bloody cloud. Under the cover of this blood fog, the surrounding light suddenly turned blood red, giving people an extremely evil feeling. Chi chi chi. When the bloody mist around Qi Lian collided with the poisonous fog around the huge black centipede, sparks flew in all directions. Blood-devouring demonic palm. At the same time, Qi Lian also blasted out a palm strike towards the huge black centipede. Instantly, elemental energy erupted from his palm, forming a huge blood-red palm shadow. Bang! Once the blood-red palm was formed, it brought with it a power that could split heaven and earth as it blasted onto the huge black centipede. When the huge black centipede was hit by the blood-red palm, it immediately twisted its body and madly struggled. Bang, bang, bang. As the huge black centipede struggled madly, it instantly collided with the blood-red palm again and again. From the collision, waves of violent elemental energy fluctuations surged. Under this wave of elemental energy fluctuations, the earth shook and the sky changed color. Those with a weaker cultivation base could barely stand under the impact of this wave of elemental energy. After this discovery, everyone's expression changed and their hearts were filled with shock. Where did this red-haired old man come from? Such terrifying strength. Hikumen actually couldn't do anything to him. The power of his blood is so powerful. In terms of power comprehension, he is much stronger than Hikumen. Not only that, but if you observe carefully, he seems to have the upper hand. Now, it seems like the Fair family is in trouble. After provoking such a ferocious person, they will have a headache in the future. At this moment, the expressions of Peng Lin and the others changed constantly as they sighed in their hearts. They really didn't expect that Qi Lian, who was relatively weaker, would actually have the upper hand in this exchange. Break for me. At this moment, while everyone was still in shock, Qi Lian let out a cold voice, and the aura on his body suddenly surged. As Qi Lian's aura skyrocketed, the power of the blood-red palm also grew stronger. Then, the blood-red palm clenched and grabbed the huge black centipede in its hand. Bang! The blood-red palm clenched and crushed the huge black centipede. It turned into elemental energy and dissipated between heaven and earth. Hikumen's attack was forcefully broken. Seeing this scene, everyone's expression changed. Their hearts were filled with excitement, and their hearts were in their throats. Compared to the shock of a Yuan Dan and true energy practitioners, the shock in the hearts of Peng Lin and the rest was undoubtedly even more intense. 5 layers of power. This was because they could feel that the power emitted from Qi Lian's body had actually reached the terrifying 5th level. With just a cultivation base of the 5th level of the Pill Palace realm, he was able to comprehend the 5th level power. What kind of terrifying comprehension ability was that? At this moment, Qi Lian and Hikumen became even more mysterious in the eyes of the crowd. What a terrifying power. Under such power, I can't resist at all. With just a cultivation base of the 2nd level of the Pill Palace realm, he was able to comprehend the 5th level power. This red-haired old man's comprehension ability is terrifying. Yeah, it seems like Hikumen is in some trouble now. Feeling the terrifying power from Qi Lian's body, Peng Lin and the others were shocked. Their hearts were filled with fear. At this moment, they finally understood how terrifying Qi Lian's true strength was. At this moment, they finally understood why Mo Qingyun didn't put Hikumen in his eyes. With the battle strength that Qi Lian displayed, not to mention Hikumen, who was at the 3rd level of the Pill Palace, he could even fight against a middle-level Pill Palace expert. Marquis Peng Lin, are you confident that you can defeat this red-haired old man? After calming down the shock in his heart, the 1st-level Pill Palace expert asked Peng Lin. Hearing the former's words, Peng Lin revealed a bitter smile and shook his head. I'm not his opponent. Although this result made Peng Lin lose face, he couldn't help but admit that he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. Hiss! Hearing Peng Lin's words, the surrounding crowd sucked in a breath of cold air. Their expressions turned ugly. With Peng Lin's strength, he was already at the peak of the entire border city. However, he still said that he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. From this, one could see how terrifying Qi Lian's strength was. 5. 5th level of power. Feeling the power from Qi Lian's body, Hikumen's face twitched. A trace of fear rose in his heart. His power was only at the 2nd level. With such a huge difference in power, it was enough to cover the difference in cultivation level. After realizing this, Hikumen's heart was filled with fear. His battle intent began to fade. Run! As his battle intent faded, Hikumen immediately had this thought. He didn't want to stay here any longer. He was worried that if he continued to fight, he would die here. With this thought, Hikumen no longer hesitated. He turned around and fled. Want to escape? Can you escape? Seeing Hikumen's agitation, Mo Qingyun curled his lips, revealing a trace of mockery. You can't escape. Seeing Hikumen's actions, Qi Lian's face also revealed a cold smile. His body moved and chased after Hikumen. Not long after, Hikumen's path was blocked by Qi Lian. Seeing that his path was blocked, Hikumen immediately gritted his teeth. He looked at Qi Lian and said angrily, "Don't push me too far. If you push me too far, you'll have to pay the price." Old dog of the High family, You think too highly of yourself. Hearing Hikumen's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a trace of mockery and said disdainfully, "Oomph, arrogant brat, if I want to leave, you can't stop me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Hikumen's face immediately darkened. He turned around and tried to escape again. "Is that so?" Hearing Hikumen's words, Mo Qingyun curled his lips, revealing a trace of a cold smile. Light Gate Martial Soul, appear. Mo Qingyun summoned his Light Gate Martial Soul as soon as he finished speaking. Following this, a white light gate shadow appeared above him. It exuded an ancient aura. "Seal Gate, seal for me." After summoning his Light Gate Martial Soul, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and used his Martial Soul Divine ability on Hikumen. Once the Martial Soul Divine ability was used, a mini light gate condensed in Mo Qingyun's palm. With lightning speed, it attacked Hikumen. Shortly after, the mini light gate blasted into Hikumen's body, sealing the circulation of Hikumen's blood. Pooh! Hikumen instantly spat out a mouthful of blood as his blood was sealed. His face turned pale. However, what truly frightened him was that he discovered that his cultivation was rapidly weakening. Not long after, Hikumen's cultivation dropped to the second level of the Pill Palace. After discovering this, his face instantly revealed a look of fear. How? How could this be? Feeling his cultivation drop to the second level of the Pill Palace, Hikumen's heart started to panic. Originally, with his cultivation at the third level of the Pill Palace, he wasn't Qi Lian's opponent. Now that he was at the second level of the Pill Palace, the result was obvious. Perhaps this time he would really die here. Mo Qingyun didn't care about Hikumen's panic. After seeing the situation, he said to Qi Lian in a deep voice, "Don't hold back. Use all your strength to kill him." "Yes, young lord." Chapter 187. Thousand-legged poisonous centipede appear. Seeing Qi Lian's attack, Hikumen did not dare to hesitate and immediately summoned his martial soul. Then, the shadow of a giant black centipede that was more than 20 meters long appeared in the sky above him. Seeing Hikumen's martial soul, Mo Qingyun was shocked. Hikumen's martial soul was a superb martial soul. However, it was a very ordinary level 11 martial soul. It was just an ordinary level 11 martial soul. Poisonous centipede dance. After summoning his martial soul, Hikumen did not hesitate and immediately used his martial soul superpower. As soon as the superpower was used, black poisonous centipede shadow appeared around Hikumen's body. The poisonous centipede shadow surged towards Qi Lian. Seven Fiend Bloody Demon Dragon appear. Seeing that Hikumen had summoned his martial soul, Qi Lian did not hold back and summoned his martial soul. Roar. As Qi Lian summoned his martial soul, a dragon's roar reverberated in the air above him. After the dragon's roar, a huge figure with 7 heads appeared in front of everyone. It was a level 12 martial soul, the Seven Fiend Bloody Demon Dragon martial soul. Everyone's hearts trembled when they saw this scene. They looked at Qi Lian with reverence. A level 12 martial soul might not have appeared in the Xia Kingdom in the past 100 years. Who exactly was this red-haired elder? After seeing Qi Lian's martial soul, everyone's curiosity was raised to the extreme. Terrifying comprehension of the intent realm and a powerful martial soul. All of these made Qi Lian look mysterious. A top-grade 12 martial spirit. Such a powerful martial spirit. Even in the Great Yin Empire, such a martial spirit is rarely seen. And that guy's martial soul is also very strange. His martial soul superpower can seal the power of other people's bloodline. Where did these two people come from? With such monstrous talent and strength. Why have I never heard of him before? At this moment, Peng Lin and the others were filled with strong doubts and curiosity. However, they knew that with the strength and potential that Mo Qingyun and Hikumen had displayed, they would not be able to defeat them. In the future, Even if they couldn't become friends with Mo Qingyun, they definitely couldn't become enemies. At this moment, they felt that Mo Qingyun and Yi Futian were too dangerous. There was nothing he could do about it. Not only were Mo Qingyun and his companion powerful, but they also had many tricks up their sleeves. Their potential was terrifying beyond compare. Once they offended such a person, when their wings were fully developed, it would definitely be a very terrifying thing. Demon Dragon destroys the world. After summoning his martial soul, Qi Lian did not hesitate and immediately used his martial soul's divine ability. All of a sudden, a terrifying cloud of blood mist transformed into 7 terrifying blood dragon shadow projections, which flew toward Hikumen with devastating power. Roar, roar, roar. Dragon roars resounded throughout the world from the mouths of the 7 blood dragons, shaking the earth and mountains. Chi, chi, chi. After the black, poisonous centipede collided with the blood-red dragon shadow, it was instantly torn apart by the dragon claw and annihilated between heaven and earth. After defeating the venomous centipede shadow, the 7 crimson shadows did not slow down and continued to charge at Hikumen. How could this be? After seeing this scene, Hikumen's heart was instantly alarmed, and a look of horror appeared on his face. He really did not expect that his martial soul's divine ability would be so vulnerable in front of Qi Lian's martial soul's divine ability. Bang! While Hikumen was still in shock, the 7 crimson dragon shadows slammed into his body forcefully and sent him flying. PFFF. After being hit by the crimson dragon shadows, Hikumen immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. The aura on his body shrank rapidly. After seeing that Hikumen was severely injured and spat out blood under his martial soul's divine ability, Qi Lian sneered and said, "Kiki, you've run out of tricks, so let me send you on your way." Blood-devouring demonic palm. After Qi Lian finished speaking, he blasted his palm toward Hikumen, and a violent surge of elemental energy instantly erupted from his body. As soon as this surge of elemental energy appeared, it transformed into a giant blood-red palm, which blasted toward Hikumen with the force of a thunderbolt. Hikumen's face convulsed as he looked at the devastating power of the giant blood-red palm, and a chill ran down his spine. He was sure that if he was struck by this palm, he would definitely be smashed into a meat patty and die on the spot. Soul transformation. With this in mind, Hikumen did not dare to hesitate any longer, and he immediately performed a soul transformation as a final struggle. After that, everyone saw Hikumen's body transform into a giant black snake that was 20 meters long in the blink of an eye, and a dark, cold light flashed in his eyes. Chi, chi, chi. After completing his soul transformation, Hikumen spat out a large cloud of poisonous mist from his mouth, which transformed into a ghostly face, and it flew toward the giant blood-red palm. Bang! The sinister, poisonous mist ghostly face was sent flying into the distance by the giant blood-red palm, and it exploded and dissipated into the air. After sending the ghostly face flying, the giant blood-red palm continued to move toward Hikumen without slowing down in the slightest. After that, Hikumen was struck by the giant blood-red palm, and he was blasted into the ground. Cough, cough, cough. After Hikumen was blasted into the ground, he reverted back to his human form. He continuously coughed out mouthfuls of blood, and his face was extremely pale. At this moment, Hikumen no longer had the dignity of a pill palace expert. He was just an old man waiting for death. Seeing Hikumen's miserable state, Qi Lian did not show any pity, and he decisively clawed at him again. Gotcha! Qi Lian's claw grabbed Hikumen's head, and under the force of his claw, Hikumen's head exploded. Ew! Under Qi Lian's claw, Hikumen let out a cry of unwillingness, and his eyes widened as he fell to the ground. With this, an expert at the 3rd level of the Pill Palace realm died. After witnessing this scene, everyone fell silent, and no one said a word for a long time, especially those at the Yuandan realm and True Energy realm. After witnessing this scene, Their hearts were filled with shock. An expert at the Pill Palace realm, an absolute existence in the Xia country, was actually killed by someone in such a domineering manner. After killing Hikuman, Qi Lian raised his hand and kept Hikuman's corpse into his Chinquan bag. To him, Hikuman's corpse was a miraculous elixir, and he could not waste it just like that. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, everyone sighed. After the death of an expert at the Pill Palace realm, he couldn't even keep his own corpse. Hikuman, he was actually killed by that red-haired old man. It seems like we have underestimated the red-haired old man's strength. If he had undergone a soul transformation, his strength would be even more terrifying. If this person entered the 100 Countries battlefield, he would be a terrifying existence. He would definitely stir up a storm in the 100 Countries battlefield. For a moment, Peng Lin and the others sighed, and each of them had their own thoughts. Let's go. Seeing that Qi Lian had killed Hikuman, Mo Qingyun did not intend to stay any longer. He signaled to Qi Lian and walked into the inner city of the border pass. As for the reactions of the people at the side, Mo Qingyun did not care. In his heart, he was thinking that since Qi Lian had killed Hikuman, he should quickly refine Hikuman's blood essence. There was no need to continue wasting time here. Seeing that Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian were about to leave, the surrounding people revealed a look of awe and respect. They consciously opened up a path for them. Right now, Mo Qingyun and Qi Lian had completely conquered them with their strength. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.